Did you do it? Are we live? Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the third and final day of our Roll Plus Bond anniversary stream. My name is Valorie, she, her pronouns, and I will be facilitating this game of Venture tonight. I am joined by Elliot.
Hi, my name is Elliot, he, him pronouns, and you can find me online on Twitter at Name of the Year. And if I have one thing to plug, it's that I did a little bit of writing for this small indie video game on the Nintendo Switch called Vitamin Connection. So if you go to the Nintendo eShop and search for Vitamin Connection, you can play it, and it's very, very cute.
I'd love to connect to some vitamins.
Mitchell.
G'day, my name's Mitchell. I don't really use Twitter, so instead I'm going to plug a game that Ada and I worked on called Yeet or Beat. You can find it. It's a sports dice game. You can find it on itch.io if you search for Yeet or Beat.
Great. And last but not least, Ada.
Hello, I'm the Ada who also wrote Eat or Beat. You can find me on Twitter at Recombinatrix, and you can find my friends at the table Fashion Twitter at fashion_table.
And you can find me on Twitter at crash_pit. So like I said, tonight we are going to be kicking off the final day by playing Venture, a game of introspective heroic fantasy by Riley Rethall. If you're interested in finding more about the game, you can find it on Kickstarter by searching Venture and a Dungeon. As of right now, it's going into the last 17 hours of the campaign. If you have the means to do so, I would highly suggest supporting it. Both of the games are
game, folks.
Incredibly interesting, and yeah, thank you all for joining us. So where should we begin? Should we just start with our character introductions, or?
I think that's a good place to start.
Okay, so let me see. I will be playing the cleric, Light in My Eyes for you. She uses she, her pronouns. And let's see. Her look is a gentle voice and shaking hands. Her wardrobe is a divine aura and pristine clothes. She is sacrificing and tender, but not chosen or wise. The rituals she practices are communing with the divine and the summoning of light and darkness. My deity has yet to tell me what they want from me, though I do know that they rule over the unknown and the spaces between. Who wants to go next?
I can go next.
Right. Oh, there you go.
Oh,
it's that good timing. Yeah, go, Elliot, go.
Okay. I am playing the wizard named Casper Soren Casper, who uses they/them pronouns. Casper has a pensive face, uses scholarly magic. They wear the same traveling cloak for days, littered in or dotted with ink stains. They are curious and particular, but they're not actually skeptical, and they're definitely not a teacher. They follow a school of magic which can transform but cannot create. And I see this as them carrying a backpack full of junk of various sizes and materials, like wooden cubes or stone rods, and just through particular magic can turn that into other things, just only really, really specific things that fall into this really unintuitive cosmic category of things, like can turn a square of wool into a farming tool, but never into a deadly weapon. They carry around a worn spellbook with writing in the margins, and also the true name of a god, which might come into play later. They are searching for a theory for why the world seems to be changing. They're very concerned about magic, not so much about people. And let's see how that changes. And that's that.
Oh boy. Yeah, so I guess that's me next then.
Yep.
So I'm gonna be playing Lancey Golden Day, who is a rogue, playing the rogue. Lancey uses they/them pronouns. They have a wiry frame and sharp eyes. I think they're very tall and lanky, and when they fight or move, their body bends a little bit more than it should. They wear tangled hair and stolen jewelry, like up in a messy bun with heaps of flyaways. They are rash and scavenging, but they are not scheming or discarded. They don't hold a grudge, and they haven't. They're not an outcast. Um, they believe that the law is nothing but a tool of the powerful. We must create our own purpose if we want to have one. Yeah. I have official documents and a favor from a local merchant. Sorry, forged official documents. Very
Important.
very important
Yeah.
distinction there. And what was taken from me was the brand of a thieves guild. Yeah. So I lost my sponsorship there, I guess.
Your brand. That's oof.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I want to find out what that
Mhm.
is.
Fake thief.
Name 5 other thieves.
Name 5 things you've stolen.
Name 5 different people's credit cards.
Oh god. Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh.
I think that just leaves the paladin.
I
Mm-hmm.
think that leaves me, yeah. Hello. I am playing Seraphina Palisite. She is a paladin. She has stone hands and distant eyes. I'm really interested to discover what stone hands means. I have some ideas.
Yeah.
She wears ceremonial robes and jeweled adornments. She does not wear armor. She does not believe she needs to wear armor. She is beloved and faithful, but she's not stubborn, and she's not just. Her beliefs are I must protect the weak, which she definitely believes includes from themselves, and I am in the service of a higher power. She has an adorned sword and an oath she has yet to break, but she's already lost a commanding voice.
Wow. All right. All right. Let's move on to the setting elements that we've chosen, and then we can kind of talk about their interplay. So I'm going to be running the setting element, the darkness. And just switch tabs really quick. Here we go. So in Venture, each setting element has 2 manifestations and 2 desires. And for the darkness, I picked that it manifests with possessions and incomprehensibility, and it desires transformation and awe. Basically, my idea is that the darkness only became what it is because light forever reshaped it in contrast to itself. And so it wants to undo light so that it can try and become the thing that it was before light changed it forever.
And I can introduce the Celestial.
Okay.
Who is a setting element that has a pretty direct influence here, and since we have a cleric and a paladin also. The Celestial manifests via messages and dreams and ringing in the ears. One little setting thing I imagine is that the Church of the Celestial uses bells a lot as like a sort of divine implement or just something in their churches. Because people have written in scripture that people who were visited by the Celestial would hear ringing, and so they kind of replicate that in their worship. But the Celestial desires obedience and it desires ignorance. Specifically, I'm imagining this god as sort of like an Old Testament kind of like very generous and can make a lot of things possible, but it definitely wants to see a world that's monotheistic, even though there are definitely other gods in this fantasy world, but definitely wants to be worshipped alone, exclusively. And we'll see how that plays out.
Cool. Okay, so if we're doing the same order as before, I'm also playing the Arcane. So like, which is magic, in the world. Anyway, so how it manifests is imagination turned into reality, and explosive bursts. Magic desires shared knowledge and novel creations. I'm kind of imagining magic as being something that trickles through the world like water, but unseen. It's like a magnetic field, or it's there and you can detect it, but you can't see it. I think maybe if you're trained in magic or you have a magical gift, you can close your eyes and feel it. But like and eddies in places where it can be dipped into and carried around. So like kind of what I'm imagining for how those magical fields will look is the Channel Country out in Western Queensland, where it's just every single year these rivers and channels change places and swap around, and this one's bigger and now it was smaller than it was last year and stuff. Yeah. The other main thing is that when you're bad at magic, it does big, cool, colorful explosions. And so if you drop out of wizard school or whatever, you know just enough magic to use it badly, you can make a pretty good living in the entertainment industry.
This is
Just
my
making-
favorite. This is my favorite world building thing that you mentioned, because I can imagine like if you're a dropout from wizard school, you just become like street magic exists in this world, but it has a very different meaning.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, did you say street magic?
Yeah, street. Yeah, exactly.
Not smart
Yes,
enough to become a wizard? Become a clown.
Yeah.
It's great. Did you go over what the desires for the arcane were?
Oh, yeah. So the arcane desires shared knowledge and novel creations. So one of the things like imagination turned into reality is ties into novel creations, and that it's easier to imagine a thing that's never been done before. And if you focus on it enough, it will start to manifest in the world. And in shared knowledge, in the way that you can pick up magic and carry it around, the longer you carry it around, it like trickles out of your hand. It's like holding water in your hands. But if you pass that magic to somebody else, they will receive more than you gave them, because magic wants to be shared. And so, you know, the way that academics always are always writing letters and emails back and forward to each other. If you're one of those academics, if you share a magical idea with somebody else, they will gain a better understanding of it than you had because you shared it with them. And it kind of snowballs the more you share ideas around.
As an academic who sends emails, that is not true.
Yeah, I know. That's why it exists here in a fantasy world.
Yeah, that's what makes it fantasy.
I really like the conflict that is created between the arcane's desire for shared knowledge and the celestial's desire for ignorance.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
excited to see that explored in play.
I have no idea how to play this game, but I think I might have some good ideas on how to create bullshit.
Good ideas are a good first step. Ada, would you like to go over your second element?
So I am, God, I just lost everything in front of me. I am going to also be playing the mundane. The mundane is, let me read from the book. The mundane is, the world is made up of more than magic. It's made up of people with everyday wants and needs. We are some of those people, and even if we sometimes believe we are different. And let me just bring it up because I just closed it. Because I'm very good at the internet. So the mundane manifests through communal gatherings. There's always some kind of a reason to celebrate, and there's always something going on. And it also manifests through social pressures. There's desires the lack of change, enforcing traditions, protection from threats. Adventurers are perceived as threats. Society sees adventurers as, if you take a Dungeons and Dragons adventure and put them in the real world, they're kind of horrifying.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like it's a vibrant and living community. It's loving and colorful, but it's completely intolerant of those who step outside the lines. And I want to contrast this with the authoritarian divine in that the mundane doesn't demand conformity. It just finds anything else unthinkable.
Mm-hmm. And given that the darkness also wants transformation, again, setting up some really good conflicts from the jump.
We do our best.
All right. So with everyone's characters, there are a number of questions that we can ask to the left and to the right of each other, just to kind of like shape how our characters are related to each other. So for Casper, why did you seek my guidance recently? Or if you don't want to answer that, what secret have we discovered together?
I think that I seeked your guidance in something that was academic but ended up becoming personal. Basically, I think that Casper came to lighten my eyes for you with kind of an innocent question about like, and I'm speaking like in broad terms. So think about like like dealing with somebody in the church about like a really academic question about magic and how the divinity works into that, and then not knowing why I offended that person, and then that conversation turning into like, is there something wrong with the way I treat people?
Oh, I see. Just kind of like really starting to like get at the, all right, all right. I like that. Yeah, I probably just said like, yeah, every individual has the right to be respected. I don't really know how to teach you basic respect, Casper, other than through example. All right. And for Serafina, how have I comforted or healed you recently?
I'm not sure. I was thinking about this one, and I'm wondering if so I've already lost a commanding voice, and I think this relates to that. I think something went bad. I think I was leading, because we're a group that's been together for some time, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I was leading us into something, and it went bad, and it made me doubt myself, and also I was quite injured. So I think this is what you comforted or healed me about is my leadership, but also the physical consequences of my leadership. And I think this might be where my stone hands come from.
Oh, really? Okay. So, like, I couldn't, like, completely prevent, like, the stonification or whatever. And I couldn't, like, and I, but I could at least, like, save your voice at least. And, like, you know, like,
Yeah, like
yeah.
going from a stone will to a stone person does a lot for your sense of self.
Yeah, okay. I like that.
Also, just out of interest, is it that you couldn't prevent my hands turning to stone, or that you didn't?
Um,
Maybe we should leave that question.
yeah, I'm not sure how to answer that just yet.
That's okay.
Okay, Elliot, would you like to go next with your questions?
Sure, yeah. My first one is to Lancy. How did I use magic to help you recently?
So I think a thing that happened is Lancy acquired a couple of skeins of silk and like showed up, just appeared flustered while you were studying, and basically like challenged you to turn them into something else. Just like, oh, you ever done magic on silk before? Oh, I bet you couldn't. Bet you couldn't turn these into ham. Bet you couldn't turn these into ham.
Oh my god.
And just like bothered you, or like cajoled you until you turned them into something other than silk, and then like, cut to half an hour later, Lancy getting pulled up by guards holding a couple of big things of anything other than a couple of skeins of silk, and going, "Oi, what happened to that silk?" And then just going, "Ah, I don't know what silk you're talking about," and then
I imagine it's kind of like in an Elder Scrolls game where like just items will be flagged as stolen.
Yeah, exactly. Oh no, as like I've literally done this in Skyrim. Is you steal iron ore and then transmute it into silver ore, and it's no longer stolen.
Oh my gosh.
100%. Yeah.
Exactly.
Or maybe
It's not the
maybe
same
it's like
thing.
It
you
isn't.
turned it from maybe Casper turned it from stolen silk into like another item that was stolen.
Oh
Like
god.
Casper couldn't get rid of the fact that it was stolen from somebody.
And couldn't figure out why it wasn't working in the way that it was supposed to. They could
I
only
actually
turn it
like
into
that
other
if-
stolen things. That's very funny.
By some cosmic law of magic, that property is immutable for some reason.
Its metadata is immutable.
I really like that you decided to go from the highly storable, highly fencible silk into the extremely limited shelf life hams.
Everybody needs to eat.
That
Sure,
if you
okay,
need to
you
get
know what? I don't know
rid of an
about
item.
this. I don't know
It's
about stealing stuff.
Look, the groups that Lancy moves in, it's a lot easier to fence hams than it is to fence skeins of silk.
Oh my gosh.
Can you imagine? Imagining like a deli, like a sandwich deli maker who is buying black market ham.
But can you imagine?
Look.
Do you mean have I met?
Look, I can definitely tell you that it came off of a pig. That's all I'll say.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm.
Okay. What's your other question, Casper?
Okay, so my other question is to lighten my eyes for you, which is what awkward or imposing question did I ask you recently?
Brilliant.
I think this is a very easy one to answer. I think you just started asking a lot of questions about the Celestial One, and her just kind of trying to be like, yeah, I totally like am involved with that church, and just trying to like answer all of these questions like she still like believes in this religion that she definitely doesn't anymore.
So how does nobody in this group know that you're no longer involved with the Celestial?
Oh.
Or is it a situation where you still work for them day job wise or like some official capacity, but you don't actually believe?
Let me think about it.
Okay, we can leave that question open also.
I think that like as we like go to like more and more places like further away than from like the specific church she ran away from, like she probably like puts on a face to kind of like make things easier for the party. So like when they roll up in a place with like one of the churches, they would recognize her as a cleric because of her divine aura, and she would just be like, oh yeah, totally, I totally still am part of this church. I can I can lead a mass or something.
Leading a mass is just saying words, right?
Yeah, it's just saying
Yeah.
words. You don't necessarily have to believe them. Yeah, it does. So yeah, I think that. What do you think, Ada? Since this has probably caused the most tension between us, whether or not it's common knowledge that I am like not part of this church anymore.
Well, that could be a good segue into my question because I have a question for you, and I wasn't sure which one to ask you.
I
Which was
see.
either going to be, what do you disagree with me about, or how did you betray my trust recently?
I can answer both of these questions. I definitely disagree with you about the worship of gods. Like, I probably didn't go over this when I was introducing my character, but like my character had always been able to kind of like see the light of divinity, and you know, she was just raised to like believe that she had been seeing the light of the celestial one because that was just the society she had grown up in. But at some point she had like come to this realization that like, oh, what I have been seeing all of my life has been the light of this presence of a different god that I had no idea about. And just in that kind of like, you know, sudden realization, she just kind of like fled the church that she was a part of. And, you know, at some point, you know, run into the various people in this party.
So, like a follow-on question to that, do you think the church, like, do you think people high up in the church know that there are different gods and only believe in their and only worship theirs, or do you think it's like, do you think the church actively believes, even at high levels, that there's only the celestial?
Hmm. I can see a case being made that like once you get to like the highest levels of the church, like definitely the Pope might like have enough like sense of the divine to realize that the celestial one isn't the only one. But I think that for the most part, it's kept pretty well under wraps.
Yeah, okay.
And I think I know how I portrayed your trust recently. I probably
I'd
had
love that.
to invoke the name of this other god to stop the stonification of your hands.
Ooh.
Oh, brilliant. So you healed me with the light of a heretical unknown god that I don't even believe exists.
That's right.
Me, a holy
Love
warrior. I have been
it.
tainted.
Oh my gosh. Maybe it wasn't that your hands were turning to stone, but they were something else. It was like something else had happened to them. And when I had invoked the name of my god, your god like reacted in such that it turned your hands to stone.
Yeah, that's like a penance or a punishment for me for being touched by obscene light.
That's right. Oh.
I like that a
That's sick.
lot. Like I was just injured. I was just hurt and now I'm like, but why? Why am I being rebuked?
Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
All right. So your next question is for Lancy.
My last question is for Lancy, and that question is, what did you do to reassure me recently?
God, hang on. I should have
You're
been
welcome.
thinking about this instead of listening to the cool stuff about hands. That was too loud. I'm sorry. God, I think. So we have these we have these communal gatherings, right?
Mm-hmm.
The mundane. I think it was just like taking you to a party that we weren't allowed to be at. It's like the party in the stowage in the Titanic.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, like
And like,
you
I'm a
weren't.
judge. I can't go to parties.
Yeah, right. But it's it'll be fun. Come on. And I've just like got some clothes for you to wear to go to this party, to this to this piss up, and I just show you the good that you've done protecting these people, and also show you that you don't have to be switched on all the time, and like I think there's a moment where your beliefs kick in and like a fight breaks out and you step forward to go sort it out and I hold you back and then like one big burly dude hits the other big burly dude and then and it's just completely ineffective and everybody just laughs and it's like you don't need to be
Right,
so
whereas if I'd
switched on all
stepped
the
in, it would
time.
have escalated. Someone would have gone to prison or been executed.
Exactly.
Mm.
And it's just like people can just have fun sometimes, lighten up,
People can just get drunk and punch each other. It's chill.
Exactly. Just let people drink and fight.
Oh, it's extremely not chill. I don't know how I feel about this.
Look, it doesn't say how did I reassure you. It says what did you do to reassure me.
I like
Yeah,
that.
whether or not
Very
it's
That's a
fair.
good
is
distinction.
really up to interpretation. All right, let's move on to Lancey's questions.
Oh God, forgive me for just dropping my mic. I hope that probably got picked up, didn't it?
No, actually, it was fine.
No.
Oh, that's good. Okay. Lancey's questions. Okay. So, since that party, Seraphina,
Mm-hmm.
Bacon,
Mm-hmm.
why have I been avoiding you recently?
So I had an answer in mind for this, and I'm hoping it still works, but if you don't like it, we can change it. I think I'm not as judgmental as you expect me to be, and that's troubling.
Oh.
Like, when the cop friend is not being as much of a cop as you expect, you're just like, something's up, I don't know what it is. Am I being watched? Are you
That's
turning on me?
you know what that is. I know what that is. That's a
Go on.
trap. That's a trap is what that is. You've been trying to get me to let my guard down. Is what that is.
She's after those
Oh my
hands.
gosh.
After me hands.
I don't want thieves' hands. I mean,
But do you
I'll
want
take them.
thieved hams?
Mmm.
I also do not want thieved hams.
Oh, tastes all the
My
sweeter.
food isn't tainted with exploitation at all.
Oh, so you're a vegan?
No.
Yeah. Okay. And now I have a question for Casper.
Yes.
So, what stolen thing did I give you recently?
I think after the incident with the silks,
The hams. Let's be clear.
the ham. You came back to me late one evening, after you tried to fence some other things that you had taken from some mansion in town, like a corrupt bishop's old mansion, and there was one thing that you couldn't fence. You thought it was valuable, but it really just kind of worthless. Which is like this old coin with the face of a ruler that neither of us recognize, and you thought I would like it as a curiosity, and kind of maybe wanted me to transmute it into something interesting, something unexpected, just out of amusement. But I just wanted to keep it and see if I could ever find any reference to it. And so far, I haven't. It's just an old coin that I just don't have any reference to. And more importantly, if I transmuted it, I'd have no idea what it could turn into because I don't know what properties it has. I don't know where
Oh,
it's from. I don't know
Mm.
who had owned it
that's
before. I don't
really
know
interesting.
what it's even made of. It looks
You
like it's
don't
made
know
out of
its
silver.
metadata.
Yeah, I don't know its metadata. It looks like it's made out of silver, but when you try to sell it, it's not real silver.
And like, I love the idea that you could just like brute force transmute it into as many things as you could until you could transmute it into something and solve for X there. But then you wouldn't have the coin.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
not interesting me. It's not interesting to me to turn it into something more valuable because this is already as valuable as it can get.
Yeah, that's cool.
Wow. So I completely kind of forgot, but maybe we could like go over each of like our roles, like little taglines and the questions that we're going to be like playing to find out, and I guess
Oh
like
yes,
our lures and our moves, just to kind of like
lures, good.
familiarize people with the system.
Cool.
Okay, so I will start with that. You are the cleric. The cleric is an individual with a touch of divinity. Their powers and struggles are spiritual, social, and often in demand. I will be playing to find out, am I a provider, community leader, or gatekeeper? What and who do I prioritize when times get tough? And what is your relationship to your deity, and how do you feel about your divinity? The tips that are given are make yourself feel valued and needed in your community. Explore how your divinity manifests and how that shapes your relationships, and make your character fallible and relatable. I'll be asking other players to describe the communication from my deity or even to act as it. The lure, when someone comes to you for care or spiritual guidance, they gain a token. And tokens are kind of like the action economy for using moves. So strong moves that I have, which will require me to spend a token, are soothe someone's pain or duress, perform a ritual with preparation and skill, receive guidance or revelation from your deity, give someone else strength or encouragement with magic or words, use your celestial connection to call forth ancient or overlooked knowledge, ask, what should I be on the lookout for? And ask, what do you need to feel whole right now? The weak moves that I have, which when I use will give me a token, botch a ritual, exposing yourself to risk or ridicule, appeal to prophecy or cosmic forces, get yourself entangled with forces far too powerful, underestimate a mundane threat, lose connection with your deity, isolate yourself from your community, ask, how has my presence made this situation worse? And just really quick, because Riley's going to sleep, thank you so much for making this game, and congratulations with the success of your Kickstarter so far.
Thank
I hope
you,
you have a good
Riley.
night.
Thank you, Riley. I can't wait to play your game. This seems cool.
Yeah. Okay.
I can introduce my.
Shall I go next? I'm next in the document.
Oh yeah, you should.
Yes.
So I'm playing the Paladin. The Paladin is an individual searching for meaning. Their powers and struggles are intense, ideological, and often self-imposed. And I'm playing to find out whether my beliefs will guide me or lead me astray, whether there's something fundamental missing in my life and will I find it, and where does my conviction and militancy come from? I'll be asking the other players how non-player characters react to my convictions and judgment, and how accurate my judgments of non-player characters are. My lure is when someone asks me to take the lead or to make a judgment, they take a token. My strong moves, which cost a token, are I can kill someone, I can use my presence to make others listen, I must spend a token to admit that I was wrong, which is amazing. I can spend a token to have a realization about my beliefs or feelings, to use my beliefs to force myself or someone else to make the right choice, to fall in or out of love, and to ask, how are you vulnerable to me right now? And my weak moves, which gain me a token, I can use my beliefs to excuse the harm of others. I can make judgment without questioning my motives. I can put my faith in the wrong cause or person. I can declare someone my enemy, cover up my insecurities with empty talk of greatness and destiny, misunderstand my emotions to avoid facing a truth about myself or the world, or ask, what makes me vulnerable in this situation?
Oh, so that means that I'm next in the document.
That's
So I'm
right.
playing the rogue. The rogue is an individual who goes where they aren't supposed to. Their powers and struggles are opportunistic, ethical, and often spiteful.
I love that.
Yeah. I'm going to play to find out whether or not I am a guardian, a troublemaker, or a train wreck. Do I value community or independence more? And what or who do you value enough to take the biggest risks? My tips here is that I should embrace both distrust and vulnerability. I should act with intention, even when it's misguided, and that I should make my character valuable and relatable. My lure, so when someone offers me a job or a secret, they take a token, and I need to ask other players to describe or act as the people you steal from and the people who catch you. The ideas for who they might be. What? And the ideas for who they might be. Right. Yeah. Okay. I need to spend a token to make strong moves, and my strong moves are to take someone while no one is looking, to find something hidden in plain sight, to forge documents, or to create a disguise with sufficient accuracy, to sneak away undetected, to eavesdrop undetected in a conversation, to win a fight you didn't start, which is fun for
Wow.
somebody who's playing a
I
character
love
who's
that.
rash. To open something locked, and to ask who will be affected by my actions. Which is, yeah, I like that. Otherwise, I just don't know. Anyway, weak moves. So I gain a token by doing these things. When I let somebody else take the blame for my actions. When I sneak into the shadows to avoid responsibility. To refuse to trust someone who has no ill will. To get caught by the authorities or someone worse. To get someone else involved in my exploits, which I very like. To hurt someone without them knowing it was you. To ask, what would it take for you to turn on me now? And, well, just without the now there. What would it take for you to turn on me? And to ask, how does a past exploit catch up to me in this moment?
Beautiful.
Wonderful.
Gosh.
Okay.
All right.
And then finally, I am playing the wizard. The wizard is an individual searching for answers. Their powers and struggles are studied and endless, yet often constrained. I will be playing to find out, does your magic help or hurt those around you? Do you value knowledge or people more? Are you dogmatic or rebellious? My tips for playing are to make magic something to be studied and to be feared, to have some but not all of the answers, and to always search for more, to make my character fallible and relatable. I'll be asking other players for ideas for spells, for unintended effects of magic when I cast it, and for how it affects people. My lure is when someone comes to me for knowledge or explanation, they gain a token. And my strong moves, I can spend a token to deduce a hidden truth, to persuade someone with reason and logic, debate me, to perform a spell or save or help. To perform a spell in order to save or help someone. Spend a token to ask for help. To call on my research or expertise. To ask, what do you know that I don't? To ask, what would you like me to do next? And then my weak moves, the ones that leave me vulnerable and give me a token, are to insist on contentiously debating a minor point. The the other the other side of debate me. Um, to withdraw into my studies, therefore avoiding responsibility. To go on a tangent instead of giving someone a straight answer. To downplay someone else's success to focus on myself. I like that one a lot. To experiment with forces that I don't understand without proper preparation. To interject in a conversation that did not want or need me. And finally, I can gain a token by asking, why do you resent me?
I feel
Gosh.
so called out by all of these.
This is
I
great.
love the strong move, ask for help. Just,
So good.
chef's kiss. All right. So, I think that just about does it for character interaction or character introductions. Let's see. Do we want to call a break here, or do we want to like do the world building before we take our first break?
Let's do the world building first, I feel like.
Yeah, I agree with that, and then we'll take a bit of a break.
Okay, great. I'll just read out the text for the world building adventure. Welcome to your world. You will begin by creating your starting point, the town or area where you begin your journey. You may decide to stay there and learn more about its people and culture through play, or you may see your journey that takes you elsewhere. When you travel, you may change or add visuals to describe a new place you are in and how it resembles and differs from where you left. There are a list of visuals that are provided, and it says to choose 3 to 5, and it also says to draw. Yeah. So, do you think I should just like rattle all of these off right now, or can we just pick out the ones?
I think we should just pick out the ones we're interested in.
Okay. Does anyone have one that's like jumping out to them right now?
I actually want to see the one that's called Every Magic to go along with what Mitchell said about just like people performing magic as entertainment, like failed magic as entertainment. And I like the idea that one, there's entertainers in the streets doing like just making really colorful displays that are really joyful and also maybe kind of tiresome, but they're busking for it. But also two, I like the idea that the public's like the everyday person's most common interaction with magic is seeing the failed version of it and not the kind that I can do.
Okay, I like that.
Oh, you're a wizard, so you like blow stuff up and make colors, right?
Yeah. Oh, you're a wizard.
Yeah.
I'm feeling extremely called out right now.
Do the thing where you make a smoke ring that turns into a funny shape.
Yeah, exactly.
I like rumors of curses.
Yeah, I was looking at that one too. Just, oh yeah, the places where the darkness is.
Mm-hmm.
I really like. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just asking what those rumors were.
I will have to find out. I kind of imagine that we're like rolling up on a new community, so
yeah, okay.
Fresh rumors to hear, huh?
Cool.
I really like the idea of forbidden lands. I think that ties really well with an authoritarian church.
Yeah, that one was also jumping out to me too. So let's see. We have everyday magic, forbidden lands, rumors of curses. Gosh, which one am I? Am I forgetting one that we've already talked about?
No, that's 3. We've only got 3 because I've been looking at this list.
Okay.
I put them in the
What
doc
about-
as well.
What about? Well, here's the other setting element that with. What about scattered tents? For like this for our community one, the mundane. What if it's a new community? Like, I'm kind of thinking of gold rush towns here, where you've got hundreds of people living
Yeah.
in this community, but there's like 3 buildings that have been built, and it's like the post office and 2 pubs, and
Maybe like
everybody
a
else
church
lives in
too?
tents. Oh yeah. So a post office, a church, and a pub.
Damn. What else do you need, really?
Exactly.
Gosh.
And you barely even need the church.
Mhm.
I mean, you need to have a courtroom somewhere, so
Yeah.
Yeah, the post office.
I was going to say the church.
All right.
We're probably right up against the Forbidden Lands then as well. Like, this is
For
on the
sure.
border of...
I reckon it's just a gold rush town, or is it some kind of other rush here?
I guess it depends. Like, is there something that's like out in the Forbidden Lands that people want?
Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
So then there's probably quite a few adventurers in this community already.
Yeah, I think that also provides good tension for the mundane.
Yeah.
Maybe there is more than 3 buildings. Maybe like it was a very small community, so like maybe there's like a dozen buildings, and then there's just there's even
Just
more
a massive
dozens and
influx?
dozens of people. Yeah.
Yeah. It was.
And so like we
it was
roll
one
up
of
in
those.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it was one of those places that's like, this is the glorified trading post that all of the farmers nearby come to sell their wares, and yeah, it's one of those little like crossroads towns.
Okay, yeah. And so then we roll up and everyone was just like, oh, great, another group of fools.
Yeah.
All right, pitch a tent like all the other ones. Stay
Yeah.
away from us.
Cool.
I like that.
Yeah, me too.
God.
Are there any other setting elements or visuals that we want to include in our world?
One thing that I brought up was that between mine and Lancey was that Lancey had stolen that weird old coin from a bishop's mansion. And so I wanted the idea of one of the more prominent people in town is a bishop who runs a church and is also really rich when they shouldn't be. Like, even according to the church's own rules, they shouldn't have wealth, but they definitely do. And is also a frequent target for Lancey in particular.
Yeah, cool.
Great.
Some of these are just nice, like ocean air and floral meadows. Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I like the idea of like all of these adventurers like going out into the Forbidden Lands, like trying to find whatever the hell is out there, and like some of them are coming back like possessed by the darkness.
Ooh.
Cool.
So, whatever is out there, I guess we might find out.
Oh, can I counter?
Yeah, go ahead.
Some of them are branded as being possessed by the darkness. Whether or not that is true is a question.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, I wonder what kind of like sanctions, like social sanctions, will come from like being branded as like possessed by the darkness or not. and like.
I don't think I can crack my knuckles into a microphone, but
Oh, I can. Is it getting picked up?
no.
It
Oh,
sounds like
that's a
tiny
shame.
claps.
Should we add at least one note that's about like the aesthetics of the world?
Yeah.
Like we've got a crossroads, small gold rush town, but we don't know anything about the biome or the environment or what it's like, and it might be good to have a touchstone.
Yeah, good idea. I like the idea of like a lot of like rolling hills.
Yeah, cool. Going in with like gold rushness. What if it's fairly arid?
Okay.
Like it's not all, ancient medieval big cool forests. It's like, oh yeah, it's down past the tree.
Yeah, there's like a lot of like dried grass and like
Yeah, like
patches where it's just like dirt and low shrubs.
low scrubs, and all of the grass is prickly.
Yeah.
All of it.
I imagine
Gosh.
that makes it hard to tell, like, the boundary between the hills that are fine and the hills that are forbidden is maybe a bit hard to see when you're out there.
Oh yeah.
Indistinct borders.
Okay. I guess if anyone else has any other ideas, I think we can
Another
go
thing
into...
that I want to point out:
Yes.
what if all of the buildings, like colorful? All of the buildings, all of the tents are really bright and colorful.
All
Because
right.
that's
Love
one of the
that.
things you can do
Yeah.
with failed magic.
Oh, great.
It's
Love
just a
that.
big,
Okay.
a big powdery explosion of color, right? You just
So
do it.
all of the buildings are just like stained by magic.
Yeah. Have you seen
Oh,
like,
great.
The
like
town's been through the color run.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's it.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
All right. I think then with that we'll go into our first break. Do you think 5 minutes would be enough to kind of like stretch our legs? Okay.
Okay.
Water.
Let me just add our host here. And we will be back in 5 minutes. All right, we are back. So where should we open up our game at? Do we want to start as we have just rolled up into this community, or I guess if Lancy had stolen a coin from the bishop, I guess we've probably been there for a couple days at least by now.
Yes.
What do y'all think?
I like the idea that we haven't gone into the Forbidden Lands yet, and haven't this has been we're coming up to the end of our just having outstayed our welcome in this community.
Mm-hmm.
We're probably thinking about actually pitching a tent of our own.
No,
Or
as in
Yeah.
no, as in picking up tents and going.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
It's getting a little bit uncomfortable around here. Let's go out into these Forbidden Lands and.
I imagine a bishop who has more money than he should have is not thrilled about having a judge and a priest in town.
Right?
I could probably fix that situation for him. If you give me a couple of days. If he shouldn't be that loaded, I could give him some assistance.
Everybody here is so sick of him.
Yeah, do you have any ideas as to what your character's been doing for the past couple of days? Just
What Lancy's been doing?
Color?
Sure. Lancy has
everyone
been.
But yes.
Oh yeah, okay. I think Lancy has been making a lot of friends and then outstaying their welcome with those friends. They didn't bring a tent. We're going to a place that has buildings. I can just couch surf. It's fine.
Oh my gosh.
Just a lot of waking up slumped in a chair at a table with a hangover.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. God, that must have been a good night. I can't remember most of it.
I imagine the owner of the house is just like, who are you? The party's over. Get out.
Oh, see, half of the time it's that, and half of the time it's oh, you've cooked breakfast. I've just been rummaging around their kitchen and frying some stuff up, and oh, g'day. Here you go. Eggs are on. How do you like them?
I remember seeing a real life article going around Twitter that says man wakes up in the middle of night to find stranger has broken into house and is cooking breakfast.
Exactly.
It's well, we didn't really have a nice kitchen out in our tent. I wanted to cook a nice breakfast.
Yeah. You had a stovetop. Come on.
Gosh, what if you just break into places that didn't even have a party? You just broke into somebody's house just because you wanted to sleep, in a house for a night?
Yeah. I see a nice couch through a window and file that away for this evening.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Anyway, so you're casing the place, but for naps.
But for naps.
Truly a chaotic visionary.
Yeah.
I imagine Light in My Eyes for you probably started off kind of ingratiating herself with the local church just because that's what she thought she was expected of her. And then she realized that this bishop is full of crap, and B is starting to hear rumors of people being cursed. So she's probably just been spending the rest of her time going out into the sea of tents and trying to give guidance to people who have been branded as having been cursed by the darkness, either because they have been or just because they have been socially branded like this.
Do you think
I think Judge Palisite might be coming with you on some of those.
Okay.
Probably more often than you want. Like that's up to you though. But like
Um,
she definitely sees this as a duty. Like this is what being a judge is. When someone's
okay.
branded as being cursed or a criminal, you need to like if that's false, then someone else is a criminal.
Then maybe we can like zoom in on like one of these like outings like into the tents and like meeting with somebody. Um,
Yeah,
would
cool.
somebody like to like play the person that we're meeting with?
I seem to have made a mistake by setting myself up with the mundane here.
If
I
you want
mean,
to,
we
you
can
can.
like we can shift roles like as we
Absolutely.
need.
Because you could do that. I can do that as well, because I think Casper would not be here.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm happy to be an uncursed bystander if you're happy to be the cursed person, Elliot.
Yeah, certainly.
I mean, we don't know if they're like we don't know if they're actually cursed or not yet. We haven't met them.
Branded, yes, branded.
We've just
Right.
heard rumors.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I guess it's probably like midday. It's probably like a low overcast. Like not enough for it to like be like foggy, but like, you know, it's pretty dour out there, I guess.
And this is a bit out in the more arid parts
Yeah.
of this land. And I think you see a young man come up to you, somebody who is kind of geared up for adventure, but in a very cobbled together way. They kind of have kind of patchwork leather armor, and they're not carrying a weapon at the moment. And they have this like wide brimmed hat, and they come up to you, and he says that he's heard that there's a cleric and a paladin going around town helping people who are branded. Is that you?
That is correct. My name is Light in my eyes for you.
Who
So
requires judgment?
do you have a potion or something? I just what can you do for me? I need help.
Unfortunately, it's not quite that simple, but I think we can help you. Is there room enough in your tent for the two of us as well as you?
Oh, I don't yeah, come into my tent. It's right this way. It's right this way. And then you follow him to actually like what is one of the bigger tents, and it's full of other people. And it's full of other people who have kind of the sectioned off part um with their bedroll and with their belongings. And you get the sense that this man that you've met doesn't really know any of them, and has also gathered
See.
here in kind of this like temporary situation.
Okay.
And
About
it's
how
kind
many
of
people?
cramped. Yeah, go ahead.
About how many people are currently in the tent?
Let's say like 4 people in just enough wiggle room.
Okay. Hmm. How do they react to our presence once we enter?
I'd say most of them are not paying attention. A couple are asleep, and one is occupied with something else, like maybe whittling arrows or something.
Counting something, like fiddling with something and taking inventory of what they've got left and how far that's going to get them.
Okay.
So I
What's
think
kind of the vibe in
Seraphina is
here
just
like?
surveying the crowd. Sorry.
I mean, we're both kind of going after the same thing, like what the kind of vibe is in here. So go ahead.
Oh no, I'm just saying Seraphina isn't speaking yet. She's just surveying the crowd.
Okay. Yeah, do these other... Okay, yeah, their guests are ignoring us, so... I think Light in My Eyes goes up to the people who are awake, and, like, you know, if they're, like, turned away from her, she, like, rests a hand on their shoulders, and just being like, "Excuse me, we would like a little privacy. Would you mind going outside for a time while we do our work?"
And the guy who was counting picks up their pack, takes it outside, and takes down. Oh, you just like comes back 3 times to take more stuff, and are looking at everybody with side eyes, like, "No, you're definitely not going to take any of my things." Like,
I see.
yeah,
Okay.
just very suspicious of everybody, and yeah, no, there's this person's being cursed. Like, obviously something is going to go wrong here. So they're getting their stuff and they're going.
Right.
And they're
Okay.
I think
grumbling
as
about
they
it the
leave,
whole
Serafina
time.
like places a hand on their shoulder and says,
And they
"Brother,
like
remember the teachers, and you shall not hide treasures for oneself."
pull themselves away as you go to touch their shoulder and like spit at the branded person.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I was gonna take a token to ask how has my presence made the situation worse, and I don't think I really need to ask that anymore.
I mean, Jace isn't here. You can still take the token.
All right, I'll take a token then, just because. Yeah, I've really made it a lot worse for this poor person. So I'm gonna give myself a token. All right. So I think we
You
go.
should take a token. Oh no, no, you shouldn't. Never mind. It's when someone comes to you, they take a token.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, so this NPC gets a token.
Yep. I wonder
Yeah.
what strong moves NPCs get.
Oh.
Well.
Um,
Yeah. So this young man introduces himself as Wallace, and he tells you that he's come to this town along with so many others because they heard of these important rumors of just riches to be made in these lands. Not they're not called the Forbidden Land, certainly. He doesn't know that until he gets here, but they're just lands rich with all sorts of valuables that they just an opportunity that he just didn't have back home. And
mm,
in the past day, very recently, in the past couple of days, really, after he came back from those lands and tried to go back into the town, um, just to the church as a place that travelers are often welcome to stay. Um, he was chased out and called cursed.
mm.
And since then, he hasn't been able to go in and just any of the merchants in town just kind of turn away from him and don't pay him any patronage.
Hmm. I think I ask, why do you think the church branded you as such?
Hmm. I would like to ask for some suggestions as to how far we want to take this name, Cursed.
Hmm.
You mean like, is there a physical manifestation?
Yeah, I left that open. I don't know if there's like something that's obviously wrong with him or obviously unusual.
Yeah, it's interesting because if there's a physical manifestation of being cursed, then that really removes a lot of ambiguity. But on the other hand, if there's just a physical manifestation of something and people are attributing it to a curse,
Yeah, I think that for there to be like a what am I trying to say? Yeah, I think that in the beginning it has to be like probably like invisible. Like maybe if they are actually cursed, there will like start to be physical symptoms that manifest. But I think at least in like the early stages, like maybe it's just like you hear something that like sounds like a voice, but you cannot understand it because it's not really in a language.
Mm.
And then maybe for people who are actually cursed, maybe they'll start to like have like what appears to be like really dark bruises on their skin. But you know, who knows how long that like actually takes to manifest.
I like the idea that the bruises are transitive as well. So like at the same time each day, there'll be a bruise there for half an hour. And
Okay.
every day it gets a little bit bigger.
Ooh. All right.
Great. I have a question. Did you take anything from the ruins? And did you enter the Forbidden Lands?
He did, and he looks around the tent to make sure nobody's looking, because you get the impression he doesn't say it out loud after you ask this question. He makes sure that nobody else sees this, and he takes out from kind of tucked away under his backpack he's been using as a pillow, and unwraps a cloth, and in that cloth is something like, I want to say like a carving. Let's say like a stone. No, let's say a jeweled carving of a bell. Not the kind of bell that can make a noise, but one that is in the shape of a bell. And he says that he walked in to the ruins and had found this on another adventurer's body, and is not very proud to say that he had sifted through somebody else's belongings, a corpse's belongings, but he did find this at least, and thought it might be nice to take it before he got a little bit spooked. Or actually, not even that. Before he just decided to call it quits for the day. It's the one thing that he came back with.
Okay.
But you know, he kind of shows it in the sense that not because he thinks that, it's more that he's afraid that somebody else will find out that he has it. He doesn't know how valuable it is. He doesn't know what it is. He doesn't know if he's not supposed to have it, or if it's cursed. But in this little, you know, temporary adventuring camp, it's make sure that nobody else has their eye on it.
I mean, even if it's nothing, it's still made out of jewel and therefore valuable.
I'd like to strike the bell.
I was also.
So you said it doesn't make noise. Do I hear anything?
Ooh,
Because
got
one
it,
of
right?
the manifestations of the celestial is ringing in the ears.
You know what? Yes. Let's see. So yes, one of the manifestations of the celestial is ringing in the ears. I think. How do you strike it? What does that look like?
How big is it?
Break it.
I'm gonna say it's something that is about the size of a fist. Something that you could fit into a pocket.
And break it.
Oh, I don't want to break it, because if it's holy, that's not great. On the other hand, if it breaks, it's not holy.
Mm-hmm.
I think I rap on it lightly with the pommel of my sword. Like I draw my judge's sword, and actually with the flat, and I strike it against it to see what we can hear.
And then I think Wallace quickly like pulls it away and says, "What are you doing?" And then he doesn't hear anything. He doesn't respond. Like he's kind of like, What? That doesn't do it. Obviously, it doesn't have a little ringer in it. But what you hear is a much lower ring than it would sound like metal hitting stone, but in a way that's kind of like played out in slow motion.
Like if it was a much larger bell?
Yes, certainly if it was a much larger bell and also distorted in the way that a sound can be altered and played in slow motion.
Tell me something, Seraphina. How often do you hear the ringing in your ears of the Celestial One?
Trying to decide how to answer, and I'm also trying to decide whether it's a lie.
No, I'm
allowed
asking
to
as a
lie without
player.
making thing? Yeah.
I'm asking as a player.
She has not heard it since you. She used to hear it every morning, and she has not heard it since she was healed.
All right.
Oh.
I think from now on, you are going to hear ringing again, but it's going to be this ringing.
This
Not
is
the
not the ringing
ringing.
I'm usually here.
No, you hear like the ringing of the bell you just rang instead of the ringing of the Celestial One.
Okay.
That's just me making a move as a darkness, altering the world to cause doubt or confusion.
How do your characters respond to this little moment?
Do I hear the ringing as well because of my connection to the divine?
Good question. I'm going to say yes. Yes. Even though I was going to say no because were not in direct contact with it, but I think it's more interesting if yes, because you have already had this sort of metaphysical connection that you did hear it.
Okay.
What's your immediate reaction? Are you kind of shocked or surprised or piqued interest?
I know my immediate reaction is that this thing is holy, and that bringing it back is good. And out of character, I'm reasonably confident that that's perhaps not true.
I think this is a cursed bell.
So I'm going to make a judgment without questioning my motives, because my motives here are definitely that this relates to my own.
Good.
Like, I want this thing to be holy because it just rang in my ears again.
It brought the divine celestial bells back to you. Of course it's holy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, note that in your
the bells are ringing.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna spend my token to let's see.
I mean, in this moment, Wallace says, notes the kind of how your faces light up and says, 200 gold. If you want this, it's 200.
Oh.
And then, wraps it back up, tucks it back away in his backpack. Or really in his own pocket, his personal pocket.
While Seraphina is mulling over this financial decision, I don't know how rich we are. I'm going to take a moment to just kind of like, do like a short silent prayer to my deity, and I will spend a token to receive guidance or a revelation from my deity. So, yeah, what the hell is up with this bell? Does my deity like have anything to offer me to like get a better idea of what this actually is?
When you see your deity, do you mean the darkness or the celestial?
Dang, I haven't really figured out if my deity is a deity of darkness.
This is a Hadrian Samma moment.
Hang on.
Damn, it really is.
I mean, here's the thing. Someone else can just chime in and have a different
Yeah.
answer altogether, an unjudgmental answer.
What was the question again?
I'm getting guidance or revelation from my deity about this bell. And
Yeah,
I
okay.
will leave that to interpretation to whoever has a good idea. Just to remind people that the moves for the Celestial are give cryptic advice, reveal something hidden, and manifest power in an unexpected way. You know, just if you need a little help.
I mean, having just declared that this thing is holy, I'd be very happy if it wasn't.
Yeah, I was thinking like your deity is. Could your deity be more related to the arcane than anything else?
If you think you have an answer as the arcane, feel free.
Yeah, I kind of want to just no, that doesn't matter. It's incomplete. The important thing here is not that it's like I want to introduce reveal a hidden solution or a pattern here. No, it doesn't. It's incomplete. It doesn't have. It's a bell that doesn't have its clapper.
Maybe it shows me like the ruin in the Forbidden Lands where it originally came from.
Yeah, because I was going to say, since the Celestial can also reveal something hidden, I think that I also was thinking about having it show you like just a really brief vision of a place you haven't been yet.
I like
Yeah,
it. Okay.
that works.
So I think I probably just like have my hands like clasped together for like a pretty substantial moment, and like my eyes are closed, and I have a very like placid look on my face. And after a time, I open my eyes and I say, "We'll take the bell. Allow us a moment to gather the requisite funds." And
I'm going to spend my token to make that not necessary.
oh my gosh! Okay.
I can make a strong move. No, I mean, this is a bad move, but not the one you're thinking of necessarily. I'm going to use a strong move to use my presence to make others to listen. And sorry, what was the character's name? Wallace?
Wallace.
Correct.
I'm going to walk out of the tent. I'm going to place my sheathed sword tipped down on the ground in front of me, demanding the attention of the people around me. And I'm going to say in what should be a commanding voice, but isn't, but I still have the authority of my office, so it carries. Let it be known that Wallace is not marked, did not transgress, and is not cursed. He is one of us and remains welcome in our community.
Wow.
And then I walk back in and I say, "We will take the bell," and put my hand out.
I think Wallace is skeptical that like this works, like that this just has an immediate effect. But I think Wallace says, "I'll hold on to it." It says, "I'll walk with you into town, and then I'll give it to you once we enter the church."
All
That
right.
seems fine.
Um,
I'll say, as is just, you've been too long without sacrament. And start walking.
I think we can
Yeah, I think we can close it.
Yeah, because I think it's like as you said, like it basically happens without incident. I mean, I guess we can have like a thing with the bishop if we want, but I see no reason to like.
No, I think that can come up when it comes up.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some good mundane moves that I'm gonna be able to deploy as time goes on.
All right.
So I think one thing that Casper's been doing since they came into this town was to document some of the rumors about curses and some of the things that they've been hearing and interest that this town drew interest in them. And they're not doing great at it because whenever they go around to strangers demanding that they tell them about the town and demanding their time of them at very inopportune times and in a very annoying way, it doesn't go very well.
Wonder why. All right. So, where do we find Casper? Like, probably as Seraphina's leading Wallace into town, I guess, is probably a good place to see where you're at.
Yeah, I think you find Casper sitting on like a stoop, around not quite like a bench, but part of a public building across the way in the plaza from a street magician who is entertaining some children, making some things explode into reds and yellows and greens. And Casper has their notebook out and is just jotting notes. And Seraphina comes up, and Seraphina sees that some of the notes are just Casper mocking this person.
It's like a little drawing with stink lines coming off of them.
Oh my gosh.
That's beautiful.
Hi,
Is this
Seraphina.
as I'm leading them into the town?
I assume after you've after we're done with that scene, like after Wallace is in the church proper, and then you and Light in My Eyes for You have left.
Yeah, maybe it's like we're just now leaving Wallace at the church to, bask in the glory of divinity or whatever. And yeah, we're going back across the plaza, and we see Casper, doing whatever it is they're doing, taking notes, quote unquote.
I think Lancey's like looking over their shoulder at Casper's notes, and that's like where we get the drawing with the stink lines on screen.
I think Light in My Eyes notices the two of you and walks over and probably just says, like, Casper, have your inquiries into the town unveiled anything that might help us?
Yeah, they're taking some very detailed notes here.
I'll have to look over them later.
Well, so I spend a while in town, very colorful people in this town. It's wonderful, really. It's you get a quiet
Out
moment.
Of character, is that a slur for street magicians?
Oh god!
Oh my gosh!
It definitely
yes,
is.
Actually, yes. Now it is. Yeah.
It's colorful means incompetent.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah, colorful is like among academics. It kind of just means like the kind of goofs and failures and not very good at it.
Yeah.
And and so Casper says, "Well, I got one very good lead. Is that if I go out to the ruins, something about my mother. It's not great."
The Forbidden Ruins?
Yeah. Nobody likes
They're forbidden.
them. And they are forbidden. That's what they say around here.
What's your mother doing in the
got
Forbidden
so many
Ruins?
Adventures. None of your business,
Yeah,
Lancey.
Right. Yeah, fair enough.
My goodness.
Poor old
But these adventures, they keep coming into town, and just everyone here wants them to get out of town, and they just keep coming in droves. I don't know what keeps drawing them over here. I don't know what drew us here. That's what I wanted to find out, really. Did you find anything lately?
I mean, this is a holy place.
Yeah,
Nah, it's a
Seraphina
crossroads.
has not said that before.
actually, Caspar, maybe there is something that you can. We found something when we were out in the tents earlier. I think Light in My Eyes motions to Seraphina to show them the bell that we acquired.
And
Yeah, I'll hand.
What do you make of this?
Lancey's eyebrows go up very far.
I'm taking a token, by the way, for the wizard lore coming to
Okay,
you for
good.
knowledge or explanation.
Perfect.
Please continue.
I think, okay, so yeah, Casper sees this and lights up and flips, I guess, rummages through their backpack and takes out a different book, and kind of flips through it and is able to place, let's say, one of the jewels, right? One of the jewels on this bell, and says, "Can I have that? Can I try this out?"
What do you intend to do?
I know a few things about this. It seems really interesting. So you said this is from one of the ruins out here, right? Or it should
Yes.
be.
Yes,
I
I
think
have
that's
a
right.
pretty good idea of which one, but I would have to see it first before I knew for sure.
Okay. So one of these
Be
jewels
careful with it. It's
comes
divine.
from a particular place, and I guess Casper ignores that. Comes
Great.
from a particular place in one of these ancient societies. It has a lot of names. I could translate them, but that's just it wouldn't mean anything to you. But this jewel here came from a particular mine that I guess isn't too far from where we are, if our map is correct. If I could pry it out, I could try to transmute it. Try to change it into something like a compass. That might work.
Ooh.
We do not require the transmutation of a holy relic.
Does you want to know where it came from? I can do that.
We do need a direction of where to go, but I worry that even taking one jewel might alter its properties somehow.
I suppose that's fair, but it's right here. It's really interesting. I mean, here's how this usually works. When somebody comes to me and says they want to turn this into that, wants my help on some treasure hunting journey or some way to track thing down. That's all well and good. I can do that, but sometimes that takes like a week of research. I have to sift through my academy's library. I have to find out sometimes the provenance of this item, or where and how it was made, or just the exact makeup of it. We don't have any of those here. I could just cut to the chase. I could just cut to the chase and get to the end, and I'm pretty sure I've done this enough times. I'm pretty sure it's going to come out like a compass.
I'm going to interrupt your tangent instead of giving someone a straight answer. Go ahead and take your token. Perhaps if we found a different but similar jewel, you could make a compass out of that?
Mm-hmm. Casper's nodding.
Did somebody say they needed a jewel procured?
Do you think you're up to the task?
Look. Now I'll say this: when someone offers me a job or a secret, they take a token. So, I reckon I could. I know somebody who's got some jewels.
I mean, technically, I'm the one who takes the token, but it's fine.
Oh, did I say that the wrong way around? I thought I said they take a token.
I thought you said I. Anyway,
Any-
it doesn't
oh,
matter. Anyway,
sorry. Yeah.
I am.
Yeah. I'm looking to hand out some tokens. I know somebody's got some jewels.
Well, maybe if you could get one of each that's on this bell. I think
Yes.
I think that would be Casper. Do you think that would be sufficient to make some kind
Casper's
of spell
nodding.
that can
Nodding.
lead us to the ruins?
Absolutely.
Yeah, all right. No, I reckon I can do that.
All right. Do you need our help with anything to
I can
help you prepare?
back you up.
Yeah, I reckon I need I could use some help from the beacon here to make an introduction or keep somebody occupied for a moment.
Oh my god.
I can make an introduction. I don't know about the latter. Who do you need me to introduce you to?
I need you to introduce somebody else, somebody other than me, to the bishop. Just so I know where the bishop's going to be for a little while. I'm trying to get somebody.
It can't be light in my eyes.
I'm trying to get somebody else involved in my exploits here.
Light in my eyes. Have you met the bishop yet, or have you been avoiding them?
I think I have been avoiding them.
I think you should meet the bishop.
Excellent.
Oh yeah. All right.
I'm gonna take a token for getting somebody else involved in my exploits.
Yeah, definitely. I was definitely Light in My Eyes definitely asked, do you need any help, with your, heist preparations? Really hoping that she was not one of the people that they would call upon. I think her face just kind of falls at hearing this plan, but
yeah. I think I need to know what kind of jewels these are going to be, or I'm just gonna go over with Casper, exactly what I need to be looking for, and getting help from Light in My Eyes for you, as to how the what the layout of the bishop's place is going to be like, and where all the best stuff's going to be kept, basically. I
think I'm gonna put my hand on Light's shoulders as you're pitching this, and just be like, "It's all right, dear. I'm not introducing you to the bishop. I'm introducing the bishop to you. It would be good for the bishop to meet a woman of proper, true faith."
Oh my goodness.
I think I might be able to take a token there for putting my faith in the wrong cause or person.
Love that. Yeah.
Oh god.
And then I think we can kind of put the curtain on it, but Casper and basically Casper takes Lancy to
sorry, am I back?
Cannot hear.
Ooh,
yeah,
hello.
we cannot hear.
Okay.
Saying something. If you're saying something, go ahead, repeat that.
No, a Discord just kind of fell out for me, so I had been trying to get people to see what was wrong, see if there was something wrong.
Okay.
But I'm back now, so
Wonderful.
Where did
so we're still going over Casper takes Lancy aside to whatever quiet place they can muster around here. Casper says in a very condescending way. And Casper goes over a bunch of these notes and makes these kind of proper reproductions of these historical drawings of the jewels, and takes way too many notes on them, and gives you almost too much information.
No, I know what I need from the transmuting wizard. I need a fake. Come on. Do the old switcheroo.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Come on, make me a
So
fake.
so is the plan that I make a fake and then out of character? Is the plan that I make a fake and then you swap that with the bishops?
Yeah. 100%.
Love this.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Um,
I think
you
this might
know,
be calling on your researcher expertise, and it's a good thing you have a token. But I
Yeah.
guess if we're not making them just yet, we can get to it.
yeah, I think I haven't yet. Let's say let's say something like, well, I can make one, but a jewel is hard to look right. I can't
Doesn't need to look
I have
perfect. It only needs to look right enough for them not to notice until we're out finding finding where these thing came from, right? Doesn't need to pass closer inspection is what I'm getting at.
How often could
Sure.
this bishop look at their jewels? Really?
Exactly.
Well,
They
okay. If you need this now, I guess I can just make a whatever
Just-
jewel that kind of
just
looks it
fiddle around with it.
the part.
Yeah. Bit of glass. Bit of fancy glass.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
You don't need to have proper preparation here. That's fine.
That's what it sounds like. And so yeah, and so I think we get that happening. And I certainly experiment with forces that I don't quite have the proper preparation for here.
Oh yeah.
It's not gonna look great, and I think it's something that like can that has the possibility of turning back into the original object, but we should be long gone by then, right?
What is the original object, may I ask?
I think I take out of my backpack, um, something like
Because I love the idea.
something not too unusual, like actually something like I'm thinking like a children's toy.
I was thinking
right?
I was
Like
thinking of like something that you cut to the right shape that it needs to be and then transmute it.
Um,
So a
I can
chunk of
imagine
ham? Are you
something
saying?
I was going to say ham. I
Something
didn't
else
say
that's
ham.
fake.
God, okay.
I didn't say
Like
ham.
you make a fake jewel out of a fake something else.
Like
Fake ham.
I was thinking of food so that when the bishop notices that it's turned back, it's because it's covered in ants.
Oh my
goodness.
gosh!
Yeah,
Oh,
right?
man, I can't not do
Yes.
this. Yeah, Casper reaches up and picks an apple out of a tree and starts slicing away at it.
Oh my gosh! Oh my
Picks
gosh!
the apple out of the only tree.
Oh, right, the one tree. No, I guess what do they have around here? Like dates or something?
Oh, prickly pear, for sure.
Prickly pear. I
Oh
love
yeah,
that.
some
Prickly
good
pear.
cactus fruit.
Yeah,
fruit.
okay. Yeah, take out a dagger and kind of slice up this cactus and then start spending time and magic on it.
Oh my gosh! All right. All right. So we've got a selection of cactus flesh jewels.
Yeah.
I
love
guess we gotta
Final
go pull a
Fantasy.
fast one on this rich asshole, huh?
I think my favorite thing about these jewels is that they've still got a little bit of give in them. You can squish them just a little bit. That's fun.
Right, because they have to, I assume the jewels are fixed in somewhere important, so you need a
Yeah, I
little
just
give to
pop 'em in.
fit back in the frame.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
do we think the bishop keeps these jewels? Is it literally in his hat, for instance, or his implements, his holy implements?
It's definitely
Oh.
like some kind of scepter or censer that's on a stand on a table, and that stand is the only thing on that table in his like office or
Maybe there's like an altar for it.
yes, in
And
the
it's
like
just
super sacred back room.
And I want it to be
Yeah.
something specifically that like he takes out and actually does a ceremony with it and then puts it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
Because I'd love to do a heist
mean-
on a holy ceremony day.
Yeah.
The mundane is all about like desiring the lack of change. So, this is going to go great. I'm very excited.
okay,
Okay, I think
so
we should cut ahead in some way.
yeah, I think we should be like, I think we should be at the moment where like, where do we find the bishop when we enact this insane plan?
So, I mean, as far as this goes, what I had in mind is either a heist where the bishop is doing some sort of like holding some sort of ball, right? Like some sort of like rich person celebration at his own mansion. Or some or conversely some official ceremony, like maybe someone important is getting married and he is officiating that wedding. That can still be at his mansion even.
I like the idea of there being like a courtyard party.
Yeah.
Like maybe like he has this mansion in like like this very nice like walled in yard garden thing. And yeah, that's just where like wedding receptions are held because like where else are they gonna do it?
It's the only place where there isn't sand in the wind.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe there are like actual apple trees growing here because
Absolutely.
the bishop has resources to do so or something.
And none of them are as tall as the wall. Yep.
Do you reckon none of them are as tall as the wall, or do you reckon they're in plain sight so that people can see them and not be
Ooh.
able to get apples?
Oh no, I think it's like that. That like the reason that they're not as tall as the wall is because when the wind picks up, it like the heat just knocks off anything that tries to grow taller than the walls. even this this extremely rich bishop cannot get his fancy trees to grow taller than this wall.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right,
And they're
so
all like cropped at the top. Anyway, yeah.
So what do we think this reception looks like then?
Any
did we
any
attend
suggestions on who is getting married? It could be not particularly important, really.
I like the idea of it being like someone established in the community and then like an adventurer from the like had like shown up. So it's like a very like
okay.
like a very like sudden wedding.
And then the
and probably pretty
reception.
tense.
Yeah, very tense. And the reception parties are very different on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Are either of us involved in the ceremony, Light?
I don't think so, just because I think that maybe both of us are present for it, just because, we need to have an excuse to be at this party. Maybe even all of us are present, because, maybe it's like a bit of a public function. Yeah, I think we're there, but I think that, it's not our customs. We don't really have a kind of place to be kind of like officiating anything, But maybe our presence is like acknowledged at like the beginning, but I don't really think that we're like really involved.
That sounds good to me.
I'm very tempted to spend a token here. On create a disguise with sufficient accuracy to do the trope of the fancy people being here in fancy person roles, and the person who isn't a fancy person is disguised as a waiter.
I love that.
Hey, it's your tokens. If you want to disguise yourself as a waiter to
Look,
Jules, then.
I need a reason to be backstage at this fancy party, and I love
do.
jokes. I love jokes, and I love that joke. And I'm always here to be the person serving the other characters drinks and be really really grumpy about it.
Brilliant.
All right. So I think that, despite it being a tense ceremony, like the couple is like genuinely happy to be married, and so like I think all of the tension is kind of like melted away at the reception. Yeah, so
I think it's the thing where like people come together and they're all like, I don't know about you, and then it's a party. And
yeah,
they're
then
all
it's
like,
a
it's a
party.
party.
And like the two grooms are so obviously in love, and like we don't approve of it, but like we don't approve of like outsiders, joining our community, but like we have to respect their happiness,
Also, like the other groom's not an outsider anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So it's also kind of like welcoming them to the community.
But are his friends some of the cursed?
Nope.
Potentially.
Maybe that was like one of the biggest parts of tension. Maybe they were like really worried someone in the community would like object to the wedding and like brand one of the grooms as like cursed. But obviously that's not a problem anymore.
Nope.
Just something to keep in
Not
mind,
at
though.
all. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Oh God.
Do you want to think on this next scene for a bit while we take a break?
I'm personally fine with keeping going, but if y'all need to take a quick break, then I would totally be fine with that.
I think this is a good basically before we switch locations and start this new scene.
Yeah,
It'd
cool.
be a good time to take a break.
Okay, I'll ping.
Sounds good to me.
I'll ping our host to. Oh.
Yep.
Never mind.
Yep.
You already got it.
Yeah.
Mod bless.
Awesome.
Okay. All right. We'll be back in a few then.
5 minutes or so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Cool.
5 minutes is fine. And we're back. Before we get back into it, I just want to shout out the reference account that popped up in response to our stream. You can find it at twitter.com/roll+ref, all written out. I was checking Twitter over a break and I saw that there are already some reference images for some of the things that we've discussed. So it's amazing.
I also want to shout out the anonymous person that donated $70.51 to get our total to $169,420.
Nice. Thank you, anonymous donor.
Thank you for your service.
I think it's changed since then, though. Has it?
Well,
Maybe.
that's a good thing, at least.
I mean, I
Anyway.
hope so, yeah.
Okay.
It can only
has.
go up.
Yeah. Yeah, you're doing the mod's work. Anyway.
All right. So
So we're here at this very important wedding that the bishop is officiating.
Well, I think we can skip ahead to the reception of it.
Right.
So, gosh. All right.
Can I open this here?
Yeah, absolutely.
By all means.
Look, we cut back to the reception, and everybody's a little bit confused and a little bit uncomfortable, and some people are just wondering what is supposed to be happening because the cake is supposed to be brought out. But,
Oh my gosh.
It hasn't been.
Oh no.
Because the person who was put in charge of making sure the cake was brought out was the new hire.
Oh no. Oh no.
But they snuck away into the shadows to avoid responsibility and to get this job done.
Yeah, I guess that would happen, huh?
So everybody in the party is now a little bit miffed as we cut back to the party, and I'm taking a token.
All right, so like tension had all that away like once we had gotten to the reception, but now it's starting to creep back up because of this cake situation.
There you go.
Oh my gosh.
Have fun.
Thanks so much.
All right, I'm going to spend one of my tokens to ask, what should I be on the lookout for?
Oh. What should you be on the lookout for?
So, I think I know. So there's the two grooms. One is a long-standing resident of the community, and one is an adventurer.
Yes.
And you realize it's not quite so when Wallace was cursed, the bruises would show up at a particular time of day. Yeah? And the resident groom, not the new resident groom. It's not that time of day yet, but you have an unavoidable sense that the resident groom is now infected with curse.
Ooh, okay. How do I
It's 10 minutes from now.
Okay, so like do I see the bruise like before anyone else then?
I think so.
No, I think like it's getting to that part of the reception where everybody's relaxing a little bit more and
Uh-huh.
like removing layers, and
Oh.
like the clock struck or something. Oh wait, no, the church bells rang,
Of course they
and
did.
Yeah.
Oh God.
and the resident groom is like acting a bit shifty and putting layers back on.
Yeah.
And like,
Serafina, when the church bells ring, they do sound like the jeweled bell that rung.
Oh wow.
To you
Only
only.
to me?
Only to you. You know.
Well, of course, this is a place of faith.
um,
Hang on, can
all
I
right.
take a Can I actually take a token for that? For again placing my faith in the wrong cause or person?
Yeah, I think so. I think you can just like get yourself deeper and deeper into it could also be misunderstanding your emotions to avoid facing a truth about yourself or the world.
Yeah, I think it could be either of those.
Yeah, I'm fine with you getting a token. All right.
She's just
I want
making
to
real
know.
good decisions, y'all.
Oh, totally.
I want to know what Casper is doing at this wedding reception. Is around the bar, transmuting cheap wine into slightly harder alcohol and trading stories with people.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
oh
All right, I think I know.
no, wait, hang on. Can I twist that a little bit?
Uh
They're not trading stories. They're explaining things to people at the bar.
You're right. You
Oh
know,
my gosh.
it's framed as trading stories, and then Casper will interrupt them with this reminded
Just
me of a
let
more
me tell you a
interesting
thing.
story that I'm gonna tell you.
See, the reason they call it moonshine is because the light of the full moon is an important component in the
Oh
production
my
of.
Okay, I think I have a good idea for how I want this next bit to go. I want to go up to the groom that is cursed and is starting to show signs of it, and I want to start talking to them and like trying to like help them through this situation because I can imagine it's terrible. And while I'm doing so, I want the bishop to walk up to me because they have finally found a situation that I cannot slip away from.
Ooh.
And so now I have to do double duty, probably triple duty, of like helping this person and trying to like keep their secret, and while also like trying to navigate this what is probably going to be a boring ass discussion about faith with this bishop. So
Oh yeah.
what's the name of the groom as I walk up to them?
Hmm.
Let's do some. Hmm. Hmm.
I can pull up a name.
My
I think I got
generator's
some on
given
my
me
list.
no, none of these are right.
Their name, or his name, is Month of Dancing.
Okay.
Oh, yep. Good.
Lovely.
Okay, so I walk up to Month of Dancing and I say, congratulations on your marriage. I wish only the best for you and your husband, Month of Dancing. Let's see. I think I wait for a response before I continue.
I'm happy to play either Month of Dancing or the Bishop, who I think is Bishop Kennedy Fowler.
Oh,
I'd
hell
love.
yes!
I'd love to play Bishop Kennedy Fowler.
All right.
So I'm Month of Dancing.
Yes.
Hello. Yes. Thank you for coming. Have we met? Are you new? Are you one of my husband's friends?
Just as I don't think so. Like out of character, I don't think so. Unless, yeah, unless
to
we
you.
had.
I mean, it's interesting if she says yes.
I think what she says is,
Actually, let me change that. How do you know my husband?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, um,
Well, I'm sure they're one of your acquaintances.
hmm. Bishop Fowler.
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah.
I don't believe we've had the pleasure of proper introductions.
I have heard that there's been somebody your of a clerical persuasion that has been cavorting around the shall we call them the outer suburbs. But I'm very happy to make your acquaintance. I
It
talk
isn't.
with I talk with both of the corners of my mouth down as far as they will go.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
He's
Let's-
Bishop Fowler, not Bishop Jowler.
That's and
Oh,
we cut.
Bishop, thank you for coming. Thank you for the ceremony. It was so beautiful.
And we see Casper, sorry, in Casper's notebook with a drawing of the bishop with like Bishop Kennedy Jowler written next to it. Sorry for putting this characterization on you.
Great.
No, it's wonderful.
Yes.
Continue.
Well, yes, I've been spending a lot of my times in the outer suburbs, as you call them. You know, even those who have some distance from the church still need guidance, you know?
I'm sure they do. If
Well,
I'm going to
absolutely,
take a token
I mean-
because I'm underestimating this mundane threat.
I only wish that I had your patience and constitution, shall we say. I find that the not does not suit my my health is failing me. It's surely is trouble for me to stray too far from the chapel.
Well, thank you again for officiating my ceremony. I mean, I'm not a man of faith. I'm just a devout member of the church. So maybe I should leave you two to this conversation. I don't want to introduce myself in places I don't belong.
Stay. It's wonderful to get an outsider's perspective when discussing these matters. It's
Oh, I don't know if I'd call myself an outsider. Just I'm not as educated as you.
Oh yes, but like a certain naivety can sometimes lend insight.
If I may, Bishop, I had no idea that your health had been failing you. Is there something that
Perhaps I could lead you somewhere to take a drink, to have a seat. Been working all day.
I'm going to use one of my tokens to soothe someone's pain or duress and just say, month of dancing, that's so kind of you. Please go get the bishop a drink to bring themselves into balance.
At this point, Casper comes up and uses a move that's called interject in conversation that did not want or need you, and comes up with 2 more drinks.
I'm just
And
looking.
says,
I'm just looking up.
"Hi, everybody."
I'm just going to look up home ready. I'm just going to look up home
thank
remedies
you.
for gout real quick.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
no!
Ew.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I mean, that's what it would be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
And
Oh,
yeah, I guess Casper.
Thank you so much. I was just about to excellent.
Wonderful drinks. Here,
Casper, you're always so prepared. Thank you.
you're welcome. Did I hear somebody had gout?
Oh
I know
yes.
a few things.
Is there cherries in that drink?
I can make it so.
Oh yes, cherries.
Everybody gather
very
around.
much.
This is quite a show. You know, you've got a lot of magicians out on the streets. They do wonderful work. They're beautiful, colorful sort. But you know, there's a particular kind of magic that I learned my academy back home. You don't get to see this very often. Take a look. And then
Aw.
just like Casper takes their own glass, one that they were drinking from, and then it kind of bubbles up in their hand, and the color of that drink changes into a more reddish hue, and it's just basking in like what they think is kind of a parlor trick, but in a way
Mm.
that's more somehow to them more refined than when a street magician does their big colorful displays. And
Like this
Yeah.
magic is
I am an
absolutely more
artist.
technically
I'm not one
sophisticated,
of those.
yes,
but to the layperson, it just
Charlatans.
looks exactly the same.
Oh
yes,
no! I think this magic has none of the like pop and pizzazz of the street magic that everybody's used to. So
Oh,
it just
yeah.
looks boring.
Oh my
It does.
gosh.
So you're right. You know what? It's so boring in comparison. It's like, oh, you change the color of this drink.
Yeah. Oh, is that all?
Oh, thank you very much. That's a good show. I'm sorry we couldn't have you for the after. Look, I just need to Bishop, do you have somewhere to sit? Do you want me to find you somewhere to sit? I could
Oh, give me,
I could
give me 1 second. I wanna just try this. Very strong. Delicious.
And then Casper just toasts like, clink.
Oh my gosh.
Gosh, that was very strong.
yes, here.
Wait, is that coughing in
Two-
character, or was that you actually coughing?
It started in character and then it wasn't. But I'm fine now.
I see.
Method.
Thank you.
I see. Bishop, please, let's find you a seat, and we can talk more a bit about higher matters alone.
Oh yes. Why don't we adjourn to my office?
Yeah. Let's go somewhere private.
Yes. Oh, I've got some delightful things you should definitely see while you're here.
Oh, I would love to. All right, hard cut to Lancy.
Yep.
Lancy Golden Day. How is it in the private quarters of the Bishop Fowler?
Less gilded than it used to be, I can tell you that, sir. Just peeling the gold leaf off things very, very carefully. Look, he doesn't. Yeah. Well, he shouldn't be this loaded, and I'm going to help him with that. Yeah. No.
Is it that Lancy can't take the heavy stuff out, so they're just taking the most valuable but tiny looking things?
Yeah, exactly. Like, they can't walk out of here with their arms loaded. They have to go back out in their waiter's garb.
So they peeling off the gold.
Peeling the gold off things and, like, picking pearls or jewels off things and stuffing them in their pockets. And, like... Oh, it's, definitely taking all of the silverware so that the actual help get blamed for this.
Oh no.
Great.
And not even stealing them, like lifting the plant out of the pot plant, putting all the silverware in the bottom of the pot, and then putting the plant back in the pot, so that the help so that somebody else will take the blame for my actions.
Yeah. All right.
So that I can take another token.
I'm going to use a mundane move at this point to show someone else trying to deal with the same situation in a different way. And you hear a rattling from the kitchen as someone opens the silverware drawer and swears.
Wonderful.
And as I hear that movement, I'm gonna sneak upstairs to go hide from this person who is very upset that of my good work.
Have
Fuck,
you
where is it?
actually
Where is it?
stolen what you needed to steal here, or have you just been purely distracted?
I've been there's so much killing, right? Like, if if Lancey ended up in the Cave of Wonders from Aladdin, it would take them 2 seconds to get eaten by that giant tiger head. Like,
Great.
they don't have a no. And I think with the swearing from the kitchen is what gets them back on task.
Okay.
And they it's barely even sneaking. It's just like moving as quickly as they can without making an enormous amount of noise.
That's pretty easy because the person downstairs is making a lot of noise,
A lot of clattering. Yeah.
clattering and rummaging and just like swearing.
As much as I don't want to be on double duty in a scene, I would very much like the shot of Lancey finally picking the jewels off this sensor or scepter or whatever it is, and putting the gummy jewels back in their place. Hearing the door, and like and there's a pan as the door opens with, and of course you'll see them edging along the top, and the chandelier, of course, and panning back to the sensor, and Lance is gone and hiding under the bed.
Oh my
Because
gosh.
of course there's a bed in here. He's got gout.
I think, like, as soon as Light in My Eyes goes into the room, she, like, immediately just starts looking to see if she can notice evidence of a crime. And she locks eyes with Lancey under the bed.
Oh no, just like
And
it's not locking eyes, it's like kicking something with their foot that was sticking out from under the bed back underneath out of sight, you know?
Yeah, but I just want the shot of, like, the nervousness in Light in My Eyes' face and seeing Lancey under the bed and her face just like, I don't know what the expression would be, like dismay, shock.
Lancey
like,
gives
oh
them
no.
Lancey gives them a thumbs up.
I think that's the part that Light in My Eyes kicks back under the bed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
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 I just wanted to say that I kind of want to like fast forward a bit, unless like there's something you really want to focus on here, because we're getting to be like an hour left, and I do want to like get out into the ruins.
Yeah, I
Cool,
think
cool,
that's
cool.
that's wise.
I'll spend a token to make the strong move, sneak away undetected, and we're good.
Perfect.
Okay. I think it's like the thing of like, I like have to like maneuver the bishop like around the room so you can like get out of there without being seen.
Oh, and it's definitely like the bishop keeps going back to show you the sensor, and
Yeah.
you having to pick something else in the room to be interested in.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Anyway, great. This has been wonderful. Does anyone have anything else they want to touch on in the party before we wrap up and
I
move
guess
on?
the only question is, does a month of dancing get found out?
Yes, I was going to say. Do you think this is when the darkness might show itself to this town?
Oh. Yes. Yes, I think so. Let me just review the darkness moves here. All right, I think I can make all three moves here, because after the... I think that Month of Dancing also hears the distorted bell tones that Seraphina has been hearing, like when the main church bell's tolled. And I think that enough time has passed that they peal again for the passing of the hour. And I think with that, what would it look like when someone is completely subsumed by the darkness, I wonder?
Bad, I guess.
It's probably incredibly bad.
Okay,
I think that it's black smoke just starts steaming off of them, and it goes and it creates awful sharp angles and incomprehensible patterns in the air as it emanates off of them. And I feel like they should say something. I feel like the darkness should say something, but I'm not sure what they would say.
It could be a gesture like the bell in the church just falls off.
Oh, damn.
I like it.
Yeah, the bell strikes. It's, late in the evening as the party is winding down. And when the bell is meant to strike 9 times for 9 in the evening, on the 9th time, instead everyone hears a crashing noise as the bell has fallen down
And
to
I think
the shaft. Yeah, fallen down the bell tower.
Yeah, and I think when it does that distorted ring so everyone can hear it.
Absolutely.
So we've altered the world to cause doubt and confusion. We've taken something important from this happy couple. We haven't really foreshadowed a threat, but I think it's enough.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, I think it is just a pandemonium in this courtyard.
Absolutely. This is
Are we
this is
trying to
definitely
get
show
out?
how the party's actions have wider consequences.
Yeah.
What's more interesting, that this happens after we leave, or it happens as we're leaving?
That's my cue, and I take that opportunity to sneak away undetected.
There we go.
That's what it's got to be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
When everyone rushes outside to examine, see what happened at the church, and I think all of us don't know if this is related to anything, but this is a good opportunity to sneak out.
I think I would like to.
Go ahead. Okay, my thing is pretty quick. I think everyone else has run to the church, even the bishop, even all of the help, all of the party goers, and it's just Month of Dancing and their groom just together in the ruins of their reception. And Light in My Eyes is there, and I think in this moment she tries to ask her deity like what to do, and she loses connection. But she goes up to the couple and first asks, or first I will take the move to use the move to give someone else strength or encouragement with magic or words. And I think it's just going to be words at this point. And I'm going to ask, what do you need to feel whole right now? To use both of my tokens.
That's me, isn't it? Gosh.
I mean, I think I have something.
Please.
I think the groom sees in his mind the same ruins that you had seen, but has no way to communicate that to you, and kind of reaches out and says, "I want my husband to take me back there."
Ow.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I think Light Myers understands. And she says, "Okay, it will be dangerous, but I think you already know that. I will do my best to protect you." And yeah, I think we can fast forward. I think we can. I think Casper can make the
Yeah,
tracker,
make a
no
compass.
problem. The compass, no problem.
Yeah.
I think we can probably make our preparations to trek through town or trek out into the wilderness. And I think let's zoom back in when we are we found the place and we're on the outside of it and we're just walking up to it.
Yeah, cool.
All right, so yeah, I think it's just there are a bunch of stones from long destroyed buildings, just worn down with time and the wind, and there's just a bunch of scraggly dried grass everywhere where it isn't dirt. And I think we're on the threshold of whatever structure this used to be. And yeah, let's begin. Yes, this is the place that I saw. We're here.
Oh.
I think the stones of the ruins are the same material as my hands.
Oh
Ooh.
gosh.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
I think I falter a bit at that.
Can you move your fingers, or are they just stuck in
Yeah.
fists? Yeah. Okay.
No, I can move my fingers. I think it hurts.
I think it's like the image of their palm placed on the rock.
Mm-hmm.
To just
Hey, Seraphina, how do you feel about us helping these people, this person who was very clearly cursed?
Not great. So I mean, I think that they brought this on themselves. I'm not sure how, but they have.
Do you communicate that all to them or to him? Even just through how you act?
Definitely through how I act. Seraphina, I think Seraphina was probably pretty warm at the wedding. And now she's withdrawn. She's not interested. If they talk to her, she gives them rote responses, and
I bet she doesn't
the
even
kind of
look at
answers
him.
in scripture that are that are just very unhelpful. They're just oh well, make sure you say your prayers every night and on the seventh day, and they're like, okay, I need a bit more than that.
Gosh.
obnoxiously quoting verse.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay.
I think she's going to. I'm going to use my weak move, cover up your insecurities with empty talk of greatness or destiny here. Which is that she's going to hold the bell, and she's going to turn to everyone, and she's going to say, "This is a holy place. You need to watch how you move here. You need to watch what you say here. You need to watch what you do and what you take. This is a place of the divine. This. Look, just don't fuck around. Especially you, and that's the month of dancing."
I think Lance's shoulders pick up a little bit at that because it's usually them that's getting that talk.
Yes,
Gosh.
exactly.
Month of dancing and his husband. I only say his husband because we haven't decided a name on him.
Right, I was just thinking about that.
If anyone's got a name that they can like pull out really quick, so
Rolf Boldrewood.
Month of Dancing and Rolf are my responsibility. We will be okay.
Can you type that out?
Yeah, I should, shouldn't I? I'll do it.
It's a good name.
Really
Okay.
quite.
He's the adventurer, right?
Yes, the adventurer.
Yes. Yeah, I guess they probably have their adventuring stuff with them, huh?
Oh, and dancing's got like hand-me-downs, Rolf's used secondhand beat-up stuff.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay.
I think I'm going to.
want...
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, I want to introduce something in a complication from the Celestial, in that on the night before this, when we had rested up, basically before we set out, the Celestial had reached out to the newlywed couple with a message in their dreams. Maybe Rolf in particular had a dream in which he was walking into the very same ruins, and surrounded by large bells, the same bells that are in the towers, and had a nightmare where one of those towers had collapsed and fell on his husband. And it was a very bad dream.
Yeah. Did Rolf like tell us about it, like as we were setting out or anything? Maybe that's something.
He certainly told it to Month of Dancing. And it's possible maybe we could even skip forward and have something where Rolf decides to stay with Months of Dancing outside of the ruins and not go inside with us.
I mean, I think they have to go in, right? Like, we wouldn't drag them all the way here
They
if we were just...
absolutely have to go in. They have to be judged.
Yeah.
Great. All right. Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah. So then, at the very least, there's a moment where Rolf and Month of Dancing takes the other side, and they kind of have a very short, quiet, whispery argument before Rolf reluctantly comes in with us.
Yeah.
I'd like to ask the question, what makes me vulnerable in this situation as we're about to enter the ruins?
Let's see.
Yeah, I think the darkness is best suited to answer this.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely foreshadowing the threat of there is that same black smoke emanating from this place. And I think you are most vulnerable in this situation because whatever will... you said that you do not wear armor because you do not need it, but whatever is going to threaten you in this place will hurt you deeper than that. It does not matter if you have armor or not.
Great. Brilliant. Love it.
Yeah. Gosh, all right. So, do we want to talk about what's gonna happen, like what we're kind of building up to, when we get into this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Definitely.
All right. So yeah, we have a bell that is terribly cursed.
Don't
Plot point.
represent.
Cursed bell. Cursed bell.
What
Bullet
did-
point
Another question?
sacred bell.
What did Month of Dancing say to me when I talked to them after the party? That like
Oh,
drove us to bring them here?
Right, he said, I want my husband to bring me back there.
Right. Okay.
God, it's definitely not because it was their first date, is it?
Maybe that's it. Maybe Month of Dancing like had met this adventurer and be like, "Hey, I have never really left this community. Would you like take me out into the Forbidden Lands so I can see it, you know?"
Oh,
And
Show
could I
me
put a twist
something
on-
beautiful.
Could I put a twist on that?
yeah, go ahead.
Like he was chasing a lost goat and got into trouble,
Hmm.
and
I don't
like
know. I think I like the idea of like this person who like knows that these lands are forbidden and has been like taught that all of their time here and is like, you know what? I don't care. I want to see
It's a
it.
bit exciting.
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
I also
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that Month of Dancing is in contrast someone who comes from kind of, I was imagining like a merchant family, someone with privilege around the here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you gotta be pretty privileged to get the bishop to come to your wedding.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Instead of just yeah.
And so like maybe they had like, you know, gotten into like some trouble and Rolf saved Month of Dancing from like some kind of threat in here. And like that was kind of like what really kindled their love for each other. And that's why Month of Dancing wanted Rolf to take him back here. Because
That's really sweet for a pack of sinners.
Oh.
So yeah, let's see. I think we can. I think is that enough for us to proceed? I think.
One thing is that I think the coin, the ancient coin that Lance gets stolen, definitely came from here. The visage on the coin is going to be something very important, either an old forgotten king or even a god or some such thing. And I do want to see that come into play.
What if it's like, I think I have an idea. I think. Do you want me to say my idea now? Or do you want to save it for like? Okay.
I think
All
we're
right.
We
there.
have an hour left. We do have an
Yeah.
hour left.
Okay, here's my idea. I think the darkness in this particular manifestation is a god whose name has been forgotten. And
Cool.
I think when we are able to properly ring this bell, it will allow Casper to make the connection between the name they have and the coin and the ringing, and name this god, and whatever they get about their name, like their name being remembered and them being called by their true name, will satisfy them, and will undo the curse that's on Month of Dancing and all of the other people in the tent city that have been cursed. If we can get there.
I love it.
I think that's great.
All right, so now that we know kind of like where we're going, how do we get there?
Okay, I guess the first question is, how much of this is like an adventuring dungeon? Do we run into trouble when we walk in?
Kind of like the idea because we know that Rolf and Month of Dancing have already been here. I kind of like the idea of that it's a dungeon that's already been cleared.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
Nice and safe.
Yeah,
maybe as we like go through various rooms and chambers, they're like calling out the things that they did while they were like delving these ruins. And
Okay, that's very cute. It's like, do you remember the time I almost stepped on this arrow trap and you made
maybe it was
then
like
you lifted me up to make sure
maybe
I
it's
wouldn't
like they
step
had
on
like
it?
camped out here for like a week, and like every day they had like gone a little further and further in or something.
Every day stray farther
Lan-
from God's light.
Lancy takes every opportunity they can to double check everything for traps. Just like I'm like, just I don't, these idiots like just faffing around in this ancient temple, like, nah, and just double checks every door and every little nook and cranny for traps.
I think you have to keep
Refute-
rushing ahead as well, because
Yeah, right?
Seraphina has no like common sense or patience, and it's just like, well, this is God's temple. God will protect me. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
open the door, and you're like, up, 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 up.
We are so annoying as a group. And also Casper is anytime Rolf and Month of Dancing start talking about you know, the names of like this trap, or like I encountered this trap in this other adventuring situation, Casper would chime in and correct them and say, actually, you know, that's called such and such.
Oh my gosh.
Oof.
We're very obnoxious to be around.
Oh, we're the worst, aren't we? How good's being the worst?
I think when
Light
I
in my
saw
eyes, what's it like being the only one who's not the worst?
oh my gosh, I think
it's
I'm like
it's such a novelty for you, Ada.
I think that since I lost connection to my deity earlier, I think I am like kind of like not really present for like the dungeon delving part of this, and I'm.
Do you mean physically or just
No,
like emotionally?
emotionally, because right now I am attempting to use my ritual of communing with the celestial to like get back in contact with my deity for guidance. But I'm basically going to botch this ritual, exposing myself to risk or harm, and basically getting myself entangled with forces far too powerful. But I'm only going to take one token because it's one action. But yeah, I think this is where I realize that whatever darkness is here is, it shares a connection with the divine, I guess. What does that look like?
Oh, can I pitch something?
Sure.
Yes.
Seraphina says a ritual prayer, and this is a prayer that's meant to ring as you speak it, and usually it would make her eyes glow, and it makes her eyes black.
Oh.
Cool.
Great. Okay. Yeah, and I think while that happens, and Light in My Eyes' divine aura is like wiped away. And yeah, this Seraphina, are you okay? I think I like grab her face with my hands and like start looking into her eyes, like to examine them.
I am. It's been a week with this since this divine rebuke, and this is my penance. I can feel the divine again. I strayed, but I am back on the right path. I can hear them in my ears. We are here. Can you hear it too? Sister, you can hear it too.
I think I flinch when she calls me sister, and I'm going to ask, do I hear it?
You do hear it.
All right. What is the risk here? Like,
I think the risk, what I'm seeing this from the perspective of the Celestial, is something like, what I'm imagining is something like The celestial itself can't see inside this place. But when you walk
Okay.
out, he will be able to see you. Like directly be able to that broken connection will come back in a way that's almost aggressive, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Um
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Well, I guess I'll have to. I guess we will both have to make that up with our deity once we get back. Our deities once we get back out here.
I don't see what we have to make up. I've never felt a stronger truth.
Hmm. Well, then I guess there's only one path forward, right?
Seraphina does not answer, but instead opens the door to, I assume, the final room, which is a great
Mhm.
altar space.
Yeah.
Don't just open the door! I wasn't finished!
Well,
Oh,
yeah, I walk in like I know that I don't know what I know anymore. But I walk in like whatever happens is gonna happen, I guess.
Sorry.
It's a good thing I do have the ritual of summoning light and darkness, so at least we can see.
I guess if you need that to see, I can see fine.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I think in this room the most prominent thing is a really large statue featuring the face of again a king that we've never seen, and it's somebody on a coin, and that king is holding this king has 4 arms, right? And it's sort of,
Yeah.
you know, depicted like and holding 4 implements like symbolically, right? Um so one of them is a shield, one of them is a wreath, one of them is a bow, and the other one is the one that's closest to the ground, that looks like it would be ringing a bell.
There it is. All right. We never thought a
So a
word will
wreath, a
actually.
shield, a bow, and the bell.
Yeah, a shield, a wreath, a bow, and the bell.
All right.
I'm going to spend a token to have a realization about your beliefs or feelings, and I'm going to
Yeah.
lean over to God, what's your full name? Light
Light in my eyes for you.
Light in my eyes for you, and I'm gonna whisper, what do?
What do you do? I think we gotta. Gosh, I think we just put the bell back in the hand and ring it, huh?
that's a terrible idea.
If you say so.
I don't know
That's
what
not transgressing.
we're dealing with here. Hold on. Who is this anyway? And Casper is circling around and looking for a kind of like signifiers of what culture this was and what and
It's the
kind of
light everlasting, obviously.
this doesn't look like any depiction of the celestial that I've ever seen.
Noted man of the church that you are. Wait, no, person of the church. Casper's they them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Noted scholar of the church that you are.
Gosh.
Who do you reckon this fella is?
I don't know. What
I'm gonna ask Rolf.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Who do you think this fella is?
Well, Rolf starts talking a bit about how this is the patron of all adventurers, and that he's come across one of these statues before in another far off land, and that wherever it's found, adventurers are sure to follow, and their safety is assured.
I think after that explanation, the room shakes, and Month of Dancing is holding their head in their hands and is just crying out that the ringing in their head has been getting louder and louder the deeper they have gotten, and it's just deafening now. And I think again, the darkness is streaming off of their body, and there is just so much more of it this time. It's more than any one person could be contained in reasonably in one person. And it's swirling around the room, and it's, doing the harsh angles and sharp patterns. But it's also just like this, basically like a maelstrom in this huge chamber. And in the eye of it, of course, like in the exact center, is this statue. And I think there are stones falling from the ceiling, and like the discordant bell sound is just like everywhere now, and it's bouncing off of the walls, and I think we all hear it, of course.
Yeah.
I'd like
It's
to
deafening. It's like shakes in your bone.
Oh yeah, it definitely shakes in your bones. Shakes in the bones of my hands, which I haven't been able to feel for a week.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to. I think this will work. I want to use my beliefs to force myself or someone else to make the right choice.
Okay.
I'm going to turn to Month of Dancing with a face full of zeal and my sword in my hand, and I'm going to yell at them that they should prostrate themselves before the divine and repent. And I leave it up to you what they do. But whatever it is, it's the right choice.
I think no matter what Month of Dancing does, like, Light in My Eyes is just like, that's not what this is about. And it's just like, I think she just like snatches the bell from your hands, gives it to Month of Dancing, and says, you know what to do. Let's see, do I need to make a move for that? I don't think that I do. For any of that, let me just double check
that
my
could
move.
be encompassed within my move. It
True.
could be you that I'm forcing to
Oh wow. Yes.
do the right thing.
Yeah, okay, so then it's me. So then I just scream at you and just be like, that's not what this is about anymore. And I take the bell and I ask the darkness with my last token, what do you need to feel whole right now?
Oh, nice.
Ooh. I mean, I think the darkness says my name.
It's just your name. Okay.
And then Casper, how does this work though? Do you think that we all hear this answer or only you hear this answer?
I think only I hear this answer. And
Oh, can I pitch a thing though?
yeah.
Mhm.
You hear this answer in the voice of darkness, but you hear it out of my mouth.
Oh my gosh. Yes, yeah.
Oh my gosh. And I like that you say it in such a way that only I can either hear or understand it in this moment. Okay. All right, I'm gonna appeal to prophecy or cosmic forces, and with this bell in my hands, guess I quickly look around the floor and like, how do I ring this? Do I just do I have to hit it with something?
I think you have
I
to
mean, I
hit it with
think-
my sword. Don't you?
Hit it on the statue.
Yeah.
Ring the bell. Like, I think you need to put the bell back in the statue's hand, and
Mhm.
the clapper to the bell has been has fallen out and is on the floor, and you see it.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
see the
I mean
clapper.
that.
You put the bell back in place and put the clapper
Yeah,
back
I
into
think
the
I
bell.
basically transmute it back in.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And I'm maybe the darkness kind of leads me to it somehow. We don't really have to get into the specifics of how, but it leads me to it wherever it is in this room. Or maybe we even found it on our way in. Maybe we've just had it.
Oh, and
And
only now we realize what it is.
yeah, maybe we just thought it was this really elegant, bric-a-brac, and then
Oh, this is a dungeon that has been cleared out. We've been finding the leavings and scattered bits of dross that the other adventurers have left lying around the whole time.
So maybe we had put it back together the moment before we entered this room, and all of this is popped off. And so yeah, I think I put it back into the hands of the statue, and I make it ring.
Yeah. Uh. Does the statue move? Does it come alive to us?
I don't think so.
No?
I think, however, the sound that rings out is the same bell sound that we've been hearing, but free of the distortion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Casper, do you have a token left to deduce a hidden truth?
I do, yeah. So I use my token, and what I think happens is that Casper sifts through their pocket and takes out this coin, the silvery coin, and then holds it up and has the face on the coin match the face of the statue, and kind of holds them next to each other and focuses very hard until the coin becomes kind of stretchy, right? And then Casper
Mhm.
pulls on both ends of the coin until it turns into something like a plaque. And on that plaque
Yeah.
is writing. And it's kind of like an old language, and on the writing it says the word Tabris.
Tabris. Okay, so you put it. Do you affix it to the
I
base
think
of the
so, yeah.
statue then somehow?
I put it on the statue, right, like at the base of the statue.
All right. I think.
Then we look around. I look back at the group and say, do we? I've never. Oh, yeah. Casper says, I'm not much for worshiping gods. Do we just, do we just get on our knees and say the name a bunch of times? What do you folks do?
I look to Seraphina to take the lead or make judgment in this situation, since they've been kind of the ones with zeal about this god that they've been following for the past few days. I'll take a token just in case I need it.
So you've said the name?
Not yet. I don't think we have said it out loud yet.
Oh.
No, I think it's more. What's more interesting is that I mumble it, or I say it in passing, and that does nothing.
Right. Because you're not saying it to the gods. You're not saying it to Tabris themselves.
Right.
Okay. So yeah, Seraphina, take the lead.
Do you think she realizes yet? I don't know that she does, but I've got the token to realize I'm wrong.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
All of my bad decision tokens have been building up all game.
Yeah,
maybe the way
You know
that
what?
you realize
I know what it is.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say it was going to be like a failed something that the celestial does to try to reach out to you, but fails to do so, and that's when you realize that this feels wrong.
That seems very
Mm.
good. I am going to spend a token to ask the darkness to Briz, how are you vulnerable to me right now?
Let me see. How would this darkness be vulnerable to you?
I guess I'm spending a second token to realize that I'm wrong.
I thought you were going to use that second token to kill Tabarus.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my
Well, you
God.
see,
To
I
what?
was gonna say that.
You broke up.
Oh, did you not hear that, Ada?
I
Say it
didn't.
again.
I thought you were going to use that second token to kill Tabarus.
Well,
I
here's
need
the
to.
thing, Serafina. Don't spend that admitting you realized you were wrong just yet, because they are vulnerable to you right now. Because you ask that question. Maybe do you ask that question aloud?
No.
Well, you do answer it
It's
aloud because
okay.
they say with a voice, my name can make me whole again, or it can strike me down forever.
Oh, I love that.
So yeah,
Why are
there
you
you
in my
go.
head? Why are you in my hands? Why are you masquerading as the divine?
Whew. Why? Why indeed? It says, I am not the one who did that to your hands. The person who did that to your hands is the same as who took my name from me and made me what I am.
Ooh.
Does the stone move? Like, am I
Um,
rebuked in this? No, the divine can't see us, right?
right, it tried to reach out to you but failed.
Yeah, okay. All right. I'm not sure if this is putting my faith in the wrong cause or person, but I don't think it is anymore. I'm going to spend my token to. It's either admit you were wrong or have a realization, possibly fall out of love with the divine.
Hmm.
And I'm going to strike the bell with the flat of my sword. And I'm going to pronounce judgment. And the judgment is that Tabriz is strong and good and noble and deserves to stand in their name, as do we all.
I'm sorry, you cut out for me. Can you repeat that one more time?
Yeah, I'm going to strike the bell and I'm going to pronounce judgment and I'm going to speak in a strong, commanding voice, as I haven't for several days. And I'm going to declare that Tabriz is the name of a noble and good and precious God that we should protect and cherish, who has been wronged, and that there is no crime here.
And yeah, the bell rings out clear again, and what are the other?
I note that I
It's
do
only
not
just
have a
messages.
token to make others listen.
Yeah. Let's see. Do I have a move I can make here? I think that no. I think it just happens, right? I think that the darkness the swirling darkness that's been just like raging around us this whole time like kind of collapses into the center at the foot of the statue, and gosh, what would happen? Maybe it just changes. Like we see a form for like a very brief moment, and in that moment, it takes the time to look at each one of us and extend its thanks without words before just ascending to wherever gods go
Mm-hmm.
once they regain their divinity. Does that sound good?
Absolutely, I
I
think.
think the way we all really see and feel that is with a month of dancing. The smoke keeps lifting off of him until it dissipates, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that let's retcon one thing. I think that like throughout all of this, since like the incident at the reception, they've had a cough that's been getting worse and worse.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe their voice has been kind of like rasping, and it's been like been difficult for them to talk, but like they still did it like all throughout this journey to like reminisce with with his husband. And I think they cough just a little bit more as the last of it leaves their body, and they take in a nice whole breath. And I don't know how they react to this, but I think it's obvious that they're whole again. And
God, I know. I feel like what they do is they go and collect from the walls of here a wreath and they put it on their head, and a shield and a bow, and they put them at their back,
Mm.
and like a small stone carving of a bell, and they pick it up, and as they pick it up, it turns into a little metal bell. And like,
I love it.
yeah,
Yep.
And
they
I
are going
think
to, yeah, they are going to be a cleric or a, you know,
They're now the
paladin
paladin.
of Tabarus.
Mm-hmm.
and I think actually like instead of the smoke dissipating from them, like I think they're doing this as like the figure like coalesces at the center. And I think it looks at Month of Dancing first, and that's what prompts Month of Dancing to start picking up all of these things. And as they do, the smoke just turns to a divine aura.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Wow.
Can I
Go
just
team.
I'm just gonna add one little detail.
Please.
This statue of Tabarus is pretty tall, right?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The only gems left in this whole dungeon are the gems stuck in their crown because they're just up too high for people to reach.
I love
Uh-huh.
this.
Uh-huh.
And throughout this whole scene, the gems in the crown are blossoming into prickly pear fruit flowers. Just beautiful
Love it.
Oh my
oranges and yellows
gosh.
and reds
Jesus.
flowers growing out of this crown.
Yeah, you know, I
Ah.
suppose when all of this happens, also that this whole altar room is when that gets brightened up, and even though the stones are still old and broken, it feels so much more brighter, and we kind of see the plants don't necessarily like magically grow around everything, but it doesn't feel like a dungeon so much anymore.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's like this.
it's the petals off of the prickly pear flowers that are,
Mm-hmm.
wafting around now.
Yeah. And like, there's a bunch of like scattered stones from when like the ceiling was coming down and stuff, but like even still it's comforting because this is a holy place now. True and true.
Oh,
Yeah. Wow.
Here's what I'm thinking. What if we, after this event, we cut ahead for some
Mhm.
time and see that a community around Tabarus has propped up here. One that started at the kind of like temporary adventure encampments and has now turned into like a proper community with that has inroads with this town specifically because of Month of Dancing.
I like the idea of that, like, maybe as we're like getting ready to move on, maybe we've been here for like, maybe we stayed here for like a couple weeks after this, and like dealing with like getting Month of Dancing and Rolf back, and like like spreading the word about this deity, like, and this shrine that's out in the Forbidden Lands. And I think, yeah, maybe we've like helped like build a couple like simple structures, like on the surface, and like have like cleared the way in like through the like underground, like in through the ruins to like make it more accessible and things like that.
Well,
I have a question.
Sure.
Bishop Kennedy. Yep.
Can I leave the temple safely? I don't know that I can.
Oh.
In fact, I might ask you that. I might ask Light that. And I think at this point I've realized maybe that you aren't any more a priest of the Celestial.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, what do I do now? I've been a judge. I've been a judge since I joined the ministry. I don't think I can stand in the light of the sun anymore.
I will spend my last token to soothe your duress, and I will say, or maybe no, maybe this will be a side effect, but I think that like during this time, like you stay in the ruins, and like you are like clearing the way and like making it accessible during this time. And I think at some point during this whole period, we kind of take a moment to like talk this out, and I show you how to do the ritual to commune with the divine, and I show you how to do it in a way that doesn't like assume a connection with the Celestial One, and it allows you to reach out to a deity of your choosing, or one that responds to the conviction and power within you to choose you as their not agent, because that's not quite the word, but like
No, that's Month of Dancing. No.
Yeah, I think, does Beacon still apply?
Oh, their shield.
Maybe.
Shield.
I mean, it doesn't have to. Oh yeah. I was going to say it doesn't necessarily have to be Tabarus or the deity that I worship or the Celestial One. It can be, I think I say that as like, the divine is so much more than anyone has ever been taught, and anyone that has ever realized. And I know that if you can reach out, you will find it will show you, like, you will find some, gosh, what am I trying to say?
Take your time. We're not in a rush anymore.
Yeah, true.
will find your path to beat. You will find your way to whichever deity needs a firm hand.
Yeah, basically, just like, showing you, like, teaching you the ritual to commune with the divine, like I said, and,
Just take your time, shop around,
gosh. Yes, thank you. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
You'll find your own path worth walking in time, I assure you, just as I did.
Join me in the Church of the Five-Finger Discount.
I
And
think she
so-
laughs at that, and she never would have before.
Aw.
And so, I think we get a scene of you like performing the ritual on your own for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe it can be like right after that conversation, like while we're still there, or maybe like you wanted to be alone for it. But I think
I've been alone enough. I don't think I want to be alone anymore.
Okay. So then maybe that's like part of it. Maybe it's the part of it
no.
that's like,
It's
realizing.
It's you taking
Go ahead.
the ritual and showing it to other people and teaching it to other people.
Oh, it is.
Oh.
Yeah.
It 100% is.
Like that's the in inverted commas excuse to do it so many times, is that you're taking that and you're sharing it with other people.
Uh-huh.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Just in this community that has this new faith that's popped up, and you're letting people access it on their own terms.
Yeah. That's
Democratization of faith.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. And I think that like once Light in My Eyes kind of like sees you like teaching other people, like she has like her own realization is like, oh, I've been keeping this like ability to like commune with the celestial on my own terms to myself. And I think she like, starts teaching it alongside Serafina as well. Over the course of like these couple of weeks. And
The priest and the mediator of the Church of All Gods.
And I just want to like get the scene of like you stepping out of the ruins back into the light for the first time, though. I take
What
you by the
happens?
hand.
Yeah.
I take you by the hands that maybe are still stone, and I reassure you because you seem to still be hesitant, and I lead you out, and I think when the light hits your hands, they are back to normal. Because
Ooh, I like that.
no matter what the Celestial One can try to do to you, there are so many others now that will come to your aid.
Oh, I really like that.
And I think that like over the course of the few weeks, like you had like lost your commanding voice during like after that one moment. But then again, once you come back out, you have it again.
I do, but it's different now.
Mm-hmm.
I think if we were to continue playing this game, she would be a bard now.
Wow. Damn.
It's like she's not a judge anymore. She's a mediator.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, do
Well,
we want to talk about what our characters would, what we like, had a few months, and then talk about what our characters are doing then to close us out?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
In Casper's case, I think Casper spends more time here in this community, and ends up using the transmutation magic to change people's things into different implements of worship, for all sorts of things, and uses that as opportunities to kind of like on expand their own knowledge on what that kind of worship means to them, and what those stories kind of mean in a broader sense, as opposed to just like facts.
Mm-hmm. Um, great. Wow.
I think Seraphina turns to you more as well, turns to Casper more. Like before, she kind of regarded them as being like a bit like they didn't have real knowledge. They didn't have anything
Mm-hmm.
worth having, and they, just as you're softening, they're softening, and they're like, "Yeah, what do you think of this?"
Yeah, I think we
Just
see like
about
a
all
really
kinds of
brief
things.
montage. We see a really brief montage of Casper and Seraphina together. Casper is showing Seraphina all these books about um, these different cultures that are in different corners of the world, and things that are like they're kind of like drawing up plans together to go find out more about them.
Mm-hmm.
Let's
all,
see.
all I have for Lancy is just more dumb jokes. Like, you got any more of those gem gummies? And like pops one into their mouth. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we see a scene. Lancey goes to. I can imagine a scene where Lancey's in the back of the church while the bishop is giving a sermon, and then
Oh, the bishop
one.
definitely gets run out of town, right? Like all of the
But
gems.
like, I
that
wanted
the
to see
bishop
one
has,
where Lancey is watching the bishop the moment that one of the gems turns back into a little squishy fruit.
yeah,
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, it's the like kissing the rings and going, oh, yuck.
Ooh.
Why are my rings soft?
Yeah.
Uh, um, but I like that the bishop has run out of town, and I like that maybe the mansion has turned into like a proper community space.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh
I
yeah,
think
people are using those trees, those fruit trees, like actually
I think
harvesting them.
yeah, I think that for Lighten My Eyes, um, she kind of like is like helping more and more people like reach out to the divine, and with the help of her deity of the unknown, she is able to like help more and more deities like remember their names, or like people like to give like people the names of deities to call out for for
Mm-hmm.
whatever they need. um yeah. um do we have
Yeah,
anything else?
I like to think that this is the beginning of that authoritative monotheism just starting to break apart in because that the celestials' demand for ignorance is starting to break apart, starting with this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the celestial one might still desire obedience, but I think that more and more the celestial is being overcome with this desire to be understood.
Mm-hmm. And more people have more options and more opportunities.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Cool.
I guess we can wrap it up there then, unless anyone has anything else they want to touch on before we end.
I feel like that's good.
I'm good.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah,
This was incredible.
Yeah,
it
good work,
really was.
Valorie and
I'm
Ada.
so I'm so
champion effort.
glad. Yes, good, fantastic job.
Yeah,
This was really fun.
we all did amazing, and yeah, I had a great time, and yeah.
So that was Venture.
Yes, thank you all for tuning in for this journey with it, for taking this journey with us. It
If
was
you'd
really
like to
fun.
find out more about Venture and see the Kickstarter that's still going on as of recording, just for less than a day left, you can go to bit.ly/venture dungeon.
That's right, and gosh, as always, you can go to donate.rollplusbond.com to donate to Rice's Texas. According to the stream, we are at $1,713, which
That's amazing.
it's incredible.
Pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
We also have some community copies. We have 3 keys on offer for a game called Ocean Tides, as well as Stewpot. So if you donate and choose the giveaway reward, you go in the running to win those. Which Stewpot looks very fun, and I really need to. I'm really looking forward to catching the reruns of Ocean Tides, because I caught just the very end of it when it was being played at the start of the stream.
And thank you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry. No, go ahead. Just
okay. I just wanted to thank everyone again for coming out. Everyone who has donated so far. Everyone, all of you here who wanted to play this game with me. It really means a lot to me. This is a game that has found its way into my heart very quickly, when I first read it. And I'm glad that I got to share this experience with all of you, both you playing with me and the people listening. And everyone
thank you for hosting this.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity, Valerie.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I'm glad we could, make something great out of this. And everyone who has run games and played in all of the previous games, and everyone who has been working behind the scenes to make this event happen over in less than a month is just incredible. And I think we should all have a little bit to be proud of here. But yeah, I think that just about does it for us. Next up is For the Queen, starting in just under 10 minutes.
Yeah.
All right.
Would
Shall we do
like
outros?
Yeah, outro.
All right. Go ahead. Anyone?
My name's Ada. I have been playing Seraphina Palisite, formerly the Paladin and now the Bard of all Gods. You can follow me on Twitter at Recombinatrix, and you can check out the Friends at the Table fashion Twitter I run at fashion_table.
I've been Mitchell. I've been playing the Rogue and the Comic Relief. I don't really use Twitter, but you can check out a game that Ada and I wrote at if you search on recombinatrix.itch.io. I don't know how to say. Yeah, that's the one.
The game's called Yeet or Beat.
Yeet or Beat. It's a very fun, very silly game. No littering.
I've been Elliot, and I've been playing the wizard named Casper Soren Casper, and you can find me on Twitter at Name of the Year, and you can play one of the games that I've did a little bit of writing on, and the Nintendo Switch eShop called Vitamin Connection.
And I have been Valorie. I have been playing Light in My Eyes for You, the cleric of all things unknown and forgotten. And you can find me on Twitter at crash_pit for all of the art that I do and selfies that I take. Thank you all for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful night and enjoy the rest of the stream.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
Oh.